Hi, friends. Welcome to the program. I hope you're having a lovely Wednesday morning. I just rolled out of bed an hour or two ago, and I'm just as shocked as you. I feel like it's 9/11, and I've been hit off kilter. You know what I mean? See, I can't even form it. I'm drinking an iced coffee right now. I've got a little cold brew here in a loony bin cup. It's a comedy club in one of the shithole countries, I think. We're just hanging out. There's no big plan for a show today or anything. I just woke up and was, watching my CNN and stuff. So, this isn't put together. I didn't want to turn on these lights. It's so bright in here. But I woke up. I get hold on. I was briefly an admin before someone thought I was abusing my power and complained to P-Mount. All right, get this guy out of here. Nooms, I've never heard of him. And please don't. By the way, I say that, and then Steve Kern will ban him. We know Nooms. Nooms is a good guy. He's in the newspaper biz, like Clark Quint. Well, welcome, to the thing. So this is just going to be a listen. Basically, this Ty Rivera guy. I got to tell you, this has gotten crazier than I ever thought. And not because he's done anything. Like, he's not reacting, which is odd for Ty. But also fine. He doesn't have to say anything. But I find it odd that... But I've come to figure out what it is. Like, here's how delusional this fucking guy is. Like, this guy Ty. And by the way, this was a culmination of comedians in Las Vegas making a bunch of ideas. This other website, TyRiveraComedy.com. TyRiveraComedy.com. If you go there, it just has a photo of a Facebook post he made where he vows to quit comedy. If you want to know a secret, I plan to quit stand-up in exactly 1 year. And this was July 17th, 2020. And then a countdown to July 17th, 2021 to hold him to his word for quitting comedy. He says he's too good for the stand-up world and we don't deserve him anymore. He doesn't like comics. This was the day after my show about him. And by the way, for everybody who's thinking like, maybe you're being too mean to Ty and all this stuff, like, first of all, go on Ty Rivera's anything on social media. This guy is a fucking asshole to everyone. So everyone fucking calm down. I'm not even serious. People know this about me. I'm a silly, silly man. None of this is real. There is no fucking drama here. But I'm going to yell about it, so you know I'm right. No, this guy's fucking crazy, and he treats everyone like shit. And by the way, I'm not mad at him about that. I don't put any weight behind that. He's on the internet just telling everybody how it is, being sassy, and I'm not mad at him about that. I've met gay people. But you are delusional when you can't remove yourself from it. This is like Kanye West. You know what I mean? It's like, it's one thing to like run for president as a crazy fucking nut. It's another thing to think you can actually win. And this is different than Trump. For Kanye West to think I'm a person who's has known mental issues and I'm on like antipsychotic medication. I also don't take that medication and flaunt that fact proudly. And I think I can win president. It's like no one's voting for a admitted man with a deep, deep psychosis. And by the way, watch Kim run away from that. Well, anybody who marries, any rapper who marries someone named Kim is in trouble. And that's just real. And shout out to Eminem.
Smoke weed every day.
So somebody made this where it's counting down, and then now there's a chat box where people can write their thoughts about Ty quitting comedy. Most of them are just like, I didn't know he was gay. You know, it's all fun stuff. And if he comes out, you know, and just says, hey, I posted that I was quitting comedy, I'm not really doing that, you know, then I imagine that site will just disappear. I can't see why it would stay up. All you have to do is come out and say that you lied. And then I imagine all this is just a big misunderstanding. I'm getting, by the way, the amount of comedy dirt that I have received in the past 24 hours about Las Vegas comedians, holy shit. I should abandon this whole format of a podcast and just I should just start a podcast about Vegas comedy drama. Holy shit. And by the way, I put myself out there. I'm not one of you. Hear me out, Vegas comedians. I am not one of you. I don't identify with you or participate in your cliques. So you can trust me. Come to me with all your secrets and all your comedy dirt. And you can ask around. Ask your friends, like, do you know anybody who's given Patrick some comedy dirt? And did he keep it a secret? Was he cool about it? Was he hush-hush? Did he reveal you? Nope, I didn't. You ask a lot of people around here who have told me stuff in the past 24 hours. My mouth is shut. And by the way, I heard a bombshell yesterday, and I'm not talking about this. By the way, this Ty thing, time out. Time out. This Ty thing is all just a good fun, thing. What I've heard is crazy, life-ruining shit. He's releasing a new album this week. Kanye is? Fuck yeah. Great. But what I've realized about Ty, is he's so fucking sick in the head. Or prove me wrong. You know, maybe this is all a bit. And by the way, if it's a troll, you got me, boy. You know what I mean? Hook, line, and sinker. You got me. But otherwise, you're a severely mentally ill individual. And we all are praying for you. And thoughts and prayers, we hope you get the help that you need. Someone wrote that on the fucking, did we just get somebody just bought a hat. If you're on the Twitch, you can get the Rick's hat. I don't have mine on me. We just launched the new store. It's up for sale. It's the first time I've even talked about it on a show. NobodyLikesOnions.com/store. Go get it. We'd love to have you wearing a Rick's hat. Anyway, this Ty guy is so sick. What I've realized, he's so used to creating these weird bubbles. He's like, he does this weird thing where he so I did nothing. Let's make that clear. I think Ty Rivera and I have been friends on Facebook for years. I did nothing to him. I posted a cryptic comment. And he took meaning to that I was making fun of comics or shaming comics, in his words. And then he got mad at that and unfriended me. Like, first of all, he did one of these things where it's like when somebody texts you or calls you and you don't call them back right away because you have a life and you're busy and you're doing stuff, but you don't get back to them right away. And then in their mind, they're just like, oh, he's ignoring me. He's not calling me. And then they're building up this fucking crazy shit in their head and getting madder and more angry at you. And then they just fucking, like, by the time you call them back and you're in a normal mood, like, hey, man, what's up? I was out with my daughter, teaching her to roller skate. You call back and now they're so frothed about everything. They're just like, you know what? Fuck you, man. If you don't want to do business together. And it's like, whoa. I was having hemorrhoid surgery. What are you so angry about? These people are unstable. And he's one of those people. He's super reactive. He claims, by the way, I saw him in a post this week. He's made, by the way, I think that show was a week ago tomorrow. He's made no mention of me or that show, but almost every post he's posted on every social media outlet is definitely like geared at it. He's just like, a lot of people think I'm reactive. And it's like, a lot of people don't think about you. A lot of people think I'm reactive, but I'm one of the most carefully thought through. It's like, you are not. You are not. Here's why. You couldn't carefully think through the number of things you post a day. I can't carefully think through 5 different thoughts a day. And by the way, real groundbreaking stuff like fuck you if you talk about race. Also, a lot of really cool stuff like I love it when adults tell other adults to go to bed. And it's like, bitch, that's all you do. Your whole shit is grumpy, sassy gay man who's upset at everyone. You fucking nut. What are you talking about? So he's blocked me, and there's a couple of levels of fucking deep psychosis to this. Number one, you are a comedian. All your stuff is public, okay? So you blocked me. I can still see your Facebook wall. All I have to do is log out. All I have to do to see your Twitter, which you haven't blocked me on yet, but I'm sure by the time this airs you will, is log out. And then if you go the further step to make all that shit private, well, now you're a nut. Now you're one of these comedians with private social media, and we all know how fucking crazy that is. I don't like, I've never been, I don't get it. And we've seen several of these guys over the course of the years who are really into like doing a show, but get mad when people they don't like or know watch the show. I don't care who you forward this to. You're nuts. Imagine, I'm not saying don't block people on Facebook or Twitter if they're harassing you. Look, if somebody's going on your wall every day and posting you're a piece of shit and, offering up evidence, I can imagine you'd block them because that's annoying. I've done nothing to you other than call you out. You started all this, Ty, and I don't need anybody coming to me and saying, like, you're being mean to this guy. Is this bullying? Fuck this guy. And by the way, I mean that in a nice, loving way. I think we'd be friends. He's a big Trump supporter. As people know, I've been trolling everybody for a while, being real serious about the virus. Like, oh my God, you guys are crazy going outside. We're all dead. I'm kidding. I don't believe in the virus. I love Trump. So him and I would get along very well. He also hates Black Lives Matter. I've seen him just railing against anyone who talks pro-black stuff. It's crazy. And that looks like what this podcast is about. So I haven't heard this. He just posted this. I just woke up and saw this tweet. And I said, what do you know? I'll go have my coffee live. And we'll watch this together and see what it is. We used to do this on my show back in the day. And we called it the Nobody Likes Onions Bad Podcast of the Week.
Get ready for some good old-fashioned name calling.
That was something that you said.
I was just bullshitting. And you know this, man.
It's time for the NLO Bad Podcast of the Week.
I love how that guy says Podcast of the Week. Okay, here it is. Ty does a show. I gotta set this up better. Ty has a YouTube channel where he does a show called Unbothered. I guess this is his blog. Unbothered. There's like a black reporter on CNN who does a podcast called Unbothered, I think. I've seen ads for it. And also this is like, I guess tongue in cheek because he's clearly, fucking doesn't sleep. He's one of these guys who like, he's a weird cat, man, because he's got, this weird blocking people and he builds a very safe bubble around him. So that he's not like, and I'm talking like an echo chamber, made of fucking stalactites. He's like built this echo chamber where it's like if he doesn't see it, and also he values other people so little, like opinion wise, and even just as humans. This is a guy we're talking about who like, everything he does is kind of predicated on this. Like I'm standing up for people and I believe in humans and everybody like. Don't get it twisted. This guy is the most selfish piece of shit. Look at what he posts. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with this, Ty. Just come clean. Look at what he posts. Like, he doesn't give a fuck about anyone, man. This guy is in his own head, in his own fucking world, and doesn't give a fuck about anything else. And I don't think it's his fault. I think he needs help. I think he needs fucking help. Here we go. So this is a post. He just posted on Twitter. If anybody wants to hear my voice, I don't know what he sounds like. If anybody wants to hear my voice, go check out my new podcast, Unbothered. I don't know why he's a crow. There we go.
Nick Cannon getting fired for the stuff he said is part of the bigger.
Whoa. Sorry, Ty. Can we do like an impression of him recording this and like a producer in the booth? I don't even know if I have a producer. Okay, here we go. All right. Unbothered. Ty Rivera, take one.
Nick Cannon getting fired for the stuff he said is part of the bigger.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Ty. Excuse me, Ty. Cut.
But the black community is going.
Ty, could you stop? Yeah, it's just your energy's really low in the booth. We're not hearing it. If you could just pick it up just a little. Oh my God, we got a subscription. Thank you so much from the booth. Ty, just pick it up energy-wise.
More listening and learn to actually have more of these important conversations that they're insisting we have. Having a conversation doesn't mean black people get to talk at the rest of us. Then we all listen silently, and then
Do you write your podcast out and then read it? This is because that's what it sounds like, right? This sounds like 5th grade when it was like your turn to read. Black Lives Matter does not take a stand when we come together. All of the people that need to be. This is crazy.
We
this
all
is the
have to be offended
I can't
at
do
the
this
stuff
for an
they're
hour.
offended by, especially when you consider that other people of color live in this country too and weren't responsible for slavery. I can explain better using my voice, so I'll do.
So he's such a weird, twisted, broken person. He's like this Mexican, half Mexican guy who was raised in Arizona or, around here. And then, so he's like got the brain of like a racist white guy. So he's like mad at Black Lives Matter. Do you hear? I don't think he knows how fucking wired weird he is. Who's going he's literally a Mexican yelling at black people during Black Lives Matter. All lives matter. There are other races in this country. It's like, whoa. Are you that basic? It always blows my mind when these guys this is like an LGBTQ T2 Terminator 2. This is like a woke dude. And he's over here basic bitching out. There are other races and they matter too. It's like, whoa, cool, dork. Continuing.
Do the episode, but I want it to come out the way I mean it. I'm not angry, and I put black community in quotes.
We know you're not angry.
This isn't most black people, but the people that claim to speak.
Are you feeling well? You shouldn't have done a podcast if you weren't feeling well. I mean, wake up. Wipe the sleepy from your eye. I just woke up, but I wouldn't dare come in here without my fucking voice on. What are we doing? What are we doing?
For black people. Anyway, I'm just dropping it in your ear because if everyone isn't careful, we'll all be in the exact same place 4 years from now, maybe even further behind. When the media starts to turn on you, they can paint you however they want to. And when people claiming to speak for you
There's also edits. Do you hear these cuts? You couldn't do this all in one take? What's going on? By the way, half of the comedy community in Vegas is laughing at this dude. A quarter of them are laughing at him behind their backs and sucking his dick to their face, and you know who you are. And then a quarter of them legitimately think he's a great guy. Ty is a funny comic. Don't get me wrong, but it's a show. He is not a good person, and he wants you to think he's a good person with all this shit. This is insanity. Did you see him eat a Popeye's chicken sandwich? The defense rests.
Might add up to a recipe that gives you the complete opposite of what you're trying to accomplish.
Everything bothers him. He's unbothered. He calls it unbothered, but that's what's cute because everything bothers him. He's bothered. I'm bothered.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of Unbothered by Ty Rivera. Sorry I had to read that entire thing. I'm not the best at reading. I've been very honest about that. I'm very open about that.
Okay.
I don't care how anybody feels about it. I do my best to get through it. It is what it.
Okay. So he doesn't read his whole podcast. Thank fucking God, because I couldn't have dealt with that for an hour. Again with the I don't care what anybody thinks. Every other post, Ty, every other thought and sentence out of your gourd. I don't care what anybody thinks. You liar. We are comedians. We are desperate souls. I don't care what anybody thinks. Oh, you're just better than all of us then, you fucking dork. This is boring. It's hardly even worth it to try to understand him. We're literally not 2 minutes in. I mean, who knows where he's going with this? He says, talking about all the latest, especially the Facebook post I put up that got people upset. So I don't know. But here's my take on Ty. And by the way, I only knew about him what everybody else knew about him before last week. I knew this guy was somewhat respected. I knew he was funny because I'd seen him do sets. I knew he was gay. But I also know that he's a little nuts because I've watched his Facebook posts. But I had no fucking idea. This guy is delusional. This guy's out of his fucking gourd. And half of what makes him that is the fact that you are lying about people. You are fucking painting people, including friends of yours, with a totally different brush and then calling them out for shit that they didn't say or do. And then you're standing up and white knighting. It's the most embarrassing fucking basic shit I've ever seen done. Like, on a level that's like, hello, we're all in 2020, and you're doing like 2004 shit. It's crazy. Stop. Just be cool. Just chill, bro. Who are you mad at, by the way? You're so angry and I don't care what anybody thinks. And you say this is like an ironic name, this Unbothered. It's like, no, it's 'cause everything bothers me. It's like, that's not good. That is not okay. Can you tell I haven't had nicotine in a week? Almost. Fuck. It's not good to be bothered by everything, man. Let it go.
Is. People are mad at me for posting that, even a couple of people that I considered friends. And I say considered.
By the way, all videos before this were video, and this one's not video. I don't know what's going on. Like, are you laying in bed? Are you okay, man?
With a D. Because those people are mad at me, and I don't know if they consider themselves to be my friends now. I'm fine. I personally can be friends with anybody. I don't really.
What?
I try to help people out is what I try.
Wow. Lies. Ty is a liar. Holy shit. Shit. Have you ever heard such a... Literally... I replied to 2 things you wrote on my post, and you unfriended me. I can be friends with everybody. I'm easy go. You ain't. You ain't easy. You ain't breezy. You ain't nice. And you sure aren't trying to help people. You have a deep, deep mental illness. And we're all stop it. Stop it already. And by the way, don't come back at me and say, Patrick, you seem a little unstable and you're nuts. No shit. I don't try to hide from it. Shit. That's not what I meant to do.
Try to do like in a situation like that, when I'm talking specifically about the Nick Cannon situation, I feel like that is part of a bigger conversation that does need to happen. If you don't know, Nick Cannon said some things that were derogatory, not only about Jewish people, but also about white people in general. And really, I think, let's kind of take it apart. When I say that I think Nick Cannon getting in trouble is part of a bigger plan, this part doesn't really have to do so much with me personally. It has more to do with
also,
the way that things go and what I got.
I don't like guys who do issue casts, especially guys who have nothing figured out. You know what I mean? It's always a guy like this who like, this guy has nothing figured out. Let's go back and watch his show where, he's doing a show from like underneath somebody's fucking front porch. It's like nothing in your life is figured out. You're yelling at me about how you have to go out and work right now, which means you have no savings. You didn't plan. And by the way, I know we have a lot of red state people. I know we have a lot of Trump people. I know we have a lot of fucking people who are out working and doing shit, for their family. They have to make a living. They have to earn money. I don't want you to wrap that up with the virus ain't real and we ain't wearing masks. Like, it's one thing to like understand science and still have to go out and work and feed your family. And I don't fucking blame you for that. I blame the government for that. Like, we live in the best country in the world, and like the government should just like get this for everybody. Like, they really should. Like, this is unprecedented. I mean, if I was a president, I'd be like, everybody stay home and just check your mail. You're all getting fat checks. We're just going to give everybody $100,000 this year and call it a wash. We can't do that because they all argue that it's got, who's going to pay for that? It's like you guys pay for anything. With a $20 trillion deficit. Just fucking print it. Print the check. None of it's real anyway, and it's all collapsing. Get Dogecoin. It's fucking retarded. But all the guys who are out there like with issue casts, it's like, we don't need Ty Rivera's take on gay, Black lives or what. Like, no one gives a shit. You're a mess, bro. Like, so your scattered thoughts on this can go. Your thoughts on this look like your fucking cover art for this, like a hodgepodge paste. It looks like a 6-year-old put this together. Did you make this on your phone? That's the only excuse. But that's what your thoughts look like. A fucking just tapas of horse shit. It ain't good. And I know I'm not stable. Don't come at me about that. I come on here and rant about whatever the fuck's going on in my life, and today it's you. I'm not on. I'm under no delusion that I can convince anybody of anything or that I'm right about everything. I said baseball wasn't happening and made fun of Roy for 2 weeks, and guess what? Fauci's throwing balls out. The world is upside down. I don't know what's happening anymore. But I'm done trying to figure it out. I'll tell you what I'm not going to do. Go on and rail against black people as a Mexican. It's a vision board. Yeah, that's what this looks like. Right. Charlie Day made this for an episode of Always Sunny. Whew.
At the end, when I said that the media will paint you however they want to paint you, I think that the media is starting to realize, and also corporations are starting to realize, that the Black Lives Matter movement is getting a little bit too strong. It's getting a little bit too big. It's having a little bit too much influence. Now, some people will say that I'm racist for even saying this, but I'm not saying it as me. I'm saying it as what I think the perception is and what I think is really going on. Not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, not trying to piss anybody off, just trying to let you guys know the way that this is
you have
looking
to
from
put feeling into your voice to do any of that. You can't show up with this amount of malaise and piss anyone off. I personally think Black Lives Matter has gotten out of control. And I'm not trying to piss anybody off. It's like, good. Like, no one gives a shit. This is craziness, bro. I know it's crazy to cover it for an hour. This is a 50-minute show, and I'll make it last 19 hours, tearing apart every word. But I think it's important because you got to watch it. This is the dangerous part. he acts like he's, counterculture. He acts like he's like, I know it's crazy. I'm a gay guy who's also Mexican, and I'm with Trump, and I'm against Black Lives Matter. Aren't I crazy? It's crazy and unexpected. I found my niche. It's like, no, you didn't. You aren't even what you say you are. That's what you are today. But everything you profess to be is also what you're doing on the DL. You twist everything. You make yourself look good. You try to focus things that have nothing to do with you onto you so that you can project back an air of fucking, high and mighty horse shit. It's insane. And people see through it, too. And part of the delusion is you not understand. It's like Trump. It's like, you idiot. We all know you're lying. Half the people, I'm telling you, bro, it's so funny. Half the people telling you not to quit comedy and don't silence your voice and the genius are the people behind your back going, this guy is a drama nut. He's a fucking queen. He's a funny comic, but no one wants to work with him because of this shit. And by the way, take it from me. I'm a guy who nobody wants to work with most of the time. But you got to be true to who you are. And nobody who really fucking knows me will say that I'm not a fair person and a good fucking person, and that I wouldn't do anything for fucking people. There's an ulterior motive to all of it. And you see this thread through it all. That's tie a string around my finger.
Person that's not emotionally invested in that part of it. So if you're mad, you want to cancel me, I already announced I'm quitting stand-up in a year.
Oh, shit. I didn't expect this at all. This is some real breaking news. Okay, so hold on. Let me find the timer when he's quitting stand-up. Just so we all can see it. TyRiveraComedy.com. TyRiveraComedy.com. 360 days, guys. So get your shows in. He's a decent LGBTQIA plus comic. And you can also leave your comments and well wishes on that page. We wish the best for Ty. I can't believe he's sticking to this. And I have a feeling this is horse shit. This is like a Nanette move. Too. This is what he does. Like, he's really hoping. Mark my fucking words on this. What's today? The 21st of July, 2020. He says he'll quit. July 17th, 2020. Mark my words. This is a Nanette move. This is I hope I blow up. I'm going all in on this, trying to get his Netflix special. Horse shit. He's retiring. Why a year? Like, what actually is the point? Yeah, like, that'll be right when comedy comes back, when the vaccine's out. You dummy. I can't believe he's talking about this, though. I love it.
So feel free to cancel the rest of that year for me. The less I have to do, the better off I'll be. The less I'm on the road, the better.
Hold on. He's quitting comedy in a year, but he also wants his calendar empty for that year. So quit now, dummy. By the way, this is the guy this whole thing started because he's like, I have to go out and do comedy. The fuck is going on? Use your Amazon subscriptions, hook up your Twitch account, and subscribe. I'm sick of asking about it, and that's an advertisement. Okay.
Off I'll be. I will figure it out. Not sweating you people. And I don't mean you people, black people. I realized right after I said it, I was like, that's what Ross Perot got in all that trouble for, was saying you people. But I don't mean you people, black people. If I meant that, I would say black people, not
By the way, for the people asking,
I mean not sweating people in general.
People think, because I haven't done nicotine, so I am fired up. This is a 0% nicotine e-juice. I have like half a bottle left. I've been off nicotine for, holy fuck, that is a lot of shit. Thanks for the follow, Crack a Black. So this is just to capitulate to my oral habit of wanting to blow smoke up your asses.
The people that have too many feelings for this conversation, go ahead and shut off the podcast. I'm just going to say a bunch of stuff you're not going to like anyway. And, you know.
He loves it.
I'm
He's
not
such a little
care
drama
what your
bitch.
opinion is as far as.
I don't care. I don't care. Get my Kevin Meaney clip, because I don't know where it is. I don't care. I don't care. I mean, have you ever met a more basic bitch? This is like 6-year-olds could diagnose your personality scrolling through your Instagram in 2 minutes. You fucking needy fuck. Like, I don't even care. It's like this guy cares the most.
Like, if you want to chat with me, if anybody wants to comment on anything, feel free to do that. 100%. Just let's be respectful about
lies. Come on the show then, Ty. 100%, one-on-one. You can call in, message me right now. I'll give you a number. I don't know if you're a Vegas comic, message Ty right now. Let's get him in here. Let's get him on. 100%. Be real about it. But we got to be honest. We got to be 100% honest. And you got to come on and be real. And we'll have a real conversation. I'll treat you fair. You treat me fair. Let's start over. This feels like a really big misunderstanding. I think we can squash this. I'm going to be honest with you. We can do this together.
That's one thing. Remember, you're talking to a person of color that might have a little more inside knowledge than you do if you're a white.
You don't, Ty. This is the fucking problem. And by the way, you have different knowledge. I'm not saying you don't. You are a person of color. Be respectful that I'm a person. Like, shut up, dummy. You just made the argument that black people don't matter because there's other races. Well, then your race doesn't matter because there's other races. Make up your mind what you're fighting for, you fucking box of crayons. What a nut. What are you mad about? Pick one. Like, you can't fucking have it all. He's like, there's too many rules, and I don't think we should have to do anything and march by our own drum. But yeah, you're the one with the like, when you're on my page, do this and do this and do this. You're fucking like, you're crazy. You know you're nuts, right? And that's all I want is you to come on and go, I'm nuts. Turn it off. We're not turning it off. We're turning it up.
Person especially, if you're a black person, I'm not going to tell you how to feel. I'm not saying how, because that's one of the biggest things you get from black people when black people
all
online.
You do is tell people how it is.
If you know me, if you know anything about me, my entire friend circle is multiracial. Yes, I do have white friends thrown in there too, but if you know anything about me, there's a lot of mixes in there, a lot of straight up brown, a lot of straight up black. So you can't come at me with the regular, well, you're racist, or you don't know what black people go through, or like any of that stuff.
Is that him doing an impression of me doing of him? No one thinks you're racist. You've been hurt, bro. Like, you are broken. Like, I don't know who did it. And like, clearly I don't know you or your past. I don't know what the fuck you've been through. Like, I've been through fucked up shit, but I clearly am okay compared to you. Like, I don't know what's happened in your life, but like, you're a funny dude and you could be likable. I don't know what's happening. You've got to turn all this down because this is getting.
It's like, do I have firsthand knowledge of what it's like to be black? Obviously, I don't. But do I have enough black friends that I have a pretty good idea of the way things work and the way different people think about different...
You just told white people to be considerate and careful talking to you because you're a person of color. Yet when you talk to black people, you're like, I got black friends, so I'm pretty sure I know how it works. Double standard much? You're a loose cannon, man. Like, half the shit you say, if you boil it down, means you're all over the map. It means nothing. Just be cool, bro. Just chill.
Different things, and also how our perception of what the world thinks of us affects the way the world reacts to us. That's all stuff that I deal in all the time.
He's not Asian.
And I
don't think.
am just trying to help out in saying, Like if we're trying to, and also let me interrupt myself, because with me, I'll be honest that I'm very selfish in what my goal is in all of this. I want a little bit of peace and quiet. And I know that that may not be possible in my lifetime, but if I can contribute to it being a little closer to that, then I will be happy.
Ty, you want peace and quiet. You have to silence the voices in your head first. This is crazy. Like, you can't come on here and come out to everyone you know. And again, most of your friends and people in the Vegas comedy community know you a lot better than I know you. I've known you for 1 week, and you're telling me all you want is peace and quiet? I call fucking bullshit. This is not possible. That is not your goal. You stir a cauldron of drama. You do. Everyone I've talked to about you says it's cyclones around you. Comics who are envious of you say, I can't believe the amount of work this guy has fucked up because of his personality. And he just fights and clashes with everyone. You ask around the internet, I get along with everybody. I've never had a problem. On the one hand, like breaking down and getting honest with us, I thought he was going to be like, look, I'm going to be honest about my intentions. I'm trying to blow the fuck up. Because you are a real housewife, if there ever was one. But, you can't. I'm going to be 100% honest. All I want is peace and quiet. Delete your accounts. Stop announcing you're quitting in a year and quit. Like, you are full of shit. You want to ride the wave of quitting for a year and then come up with the next fucking marketing scam. We all know it. We're just waiting for you to realize that we know it so you can stop this charade. It's like a dude boarding up his house and then saying he's the funniest comic inside it. It's like, okay. You know what I mean? Like, who are you fooling? What's the point of lying to yourself? That's not what I meant to do. Oh, fuck. Can you imagine? All I want is peace and quiet. Oh, we're all dumb.
When I can look at social media and not see everybody talking about race all the time, that will be a good day for me.
By the way, Ty, you and I on this, 100%. See, this is why this is all a misunderstanding. If Ty and I were to hook up, under different circumstances, I think we could have a really good discussion about this. Because I actually agree with him. The amount of time and energy we spend on race and, by the way, LGBTQIA plus matters is bananas. For the amount of we got a sub given out. Oh, it's a sub party. I like it.
Smoke weed every day.
Yeah, no, we do. We spend too much time talking about all that stuff. And I think you and I agree on a lot of this shit. The fact that you like Trump, we could have a debate about that. I liked the idea of Trump, but what he's turned out to be, it's like when you elect a guy like, this is going to be crazy. Like, we're going to actually have a fucking nut for a leader and it's going to be funny. Like, he's not even that. He's more of a boob. You know what I mean? Like, when it's more cringe than hilarious. Hilarious would have been great, and I think that's what we all hope for as comics, but more of a boob. And, like, if that's your guy, if you're watching Trump and going, like, he's doing great, I think it says a lot more back to you. But look who I'm talking to. I'm talking to a guy who blocks people on public profiles for doing nothing. Like, you're a broken person. That says so much more about you than me. Like, imagine me blocking someone who doesn't bother me. What that says to the world is that I can't deal with seeing your name on my social media. This means every time he would see Patrick Melton on his Facebook, if we just had a disagreement, And by the way, in that same thread, I had disagreements with 2 other comics, and we talked over DMs, and we're totally cool. Like, we get each other. They know I'm fucking around, and they're totally cool. Not Ty, unilaterally, unfriended, can't take it. I get along with everybody. I'm trying to help humans. I just want peace and quiet. I don't think you should say you're a fucking nightmare. You know, you're a cyclone of horse shit. And I think when you block this is what it says about your state of mind. You block. I hadn't posted on your thing at all. I hadn't posted on your wall ever. I think I've commented on your stuff a couple times, but never like anything serious, or we've never gotten in a discussion. You commented on my thing, riled yourself up, and blocked me. And that means you can't deal. Your brain can't deal with seeing me or my name or my content. Your brain can't handle it. That's too triggering for you. That's too bothering for you. You had to do it. You know what I mean? Okay? Because I'm not doing anything to you. I'm not in your face. I mean, now I am. But like, that's you. That's you. Okay? So that means I put you up here with these people. You know, the people who like set their clocks forward 10 minutes? It's like, but you know it's 10 minutes fast. You're dumb on 2 levels. That number 1, you can fool yourself with that stupid human trick. And number 2, that like your brain thinks that that's a good idea. Like, how about you fix your fucking life? Same goes for people who set 9 alarms in the morning. You know, instead of getting up at 6 a.m., you got to start getting ready at 4:38 and have 9 alarms go off every 9 minutes because you're such a piece of shit that you can't motivate yourself to get out of bed. Set the alarm for 6, get a good night's sleep. You know, even not a good night. Let's say you go to bed at 2 and start the wake up process at 4:45. So you're out of bed by 6. Imagine the last hour and 15 minutes of your slumber being disrupted every 9 minutes by a screaming appliance. Yet there are people who live their entire lives like that. And it is crazy because they think they can trick their brains. And on a level, they are right. They do it. But that's a mental illness. And that's the same as you blocking someone who's doing nothing to you. You think you found a way to trick your brain into being a normal person. You know, this is crazy broken brain behavior. And we're only, 6 minutes into this. I wake up at 9:45, at work at 10:30. Of course, I'm working from home. Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, it's bananas to build walls around yourself and then pretend that that's the world. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm pretty over all of it from everybody's point of view.
Yeah. Yeah, you're over it all. You're over it all. I'll admit I'm not. I'm just getting started. But you got to start being honest on some level. I'm getting a lot of messages on my phone. I don't know what's happened. I'll be right back.
Unfortunately, it gets shoved in my face over and over until the point that I get like, okay, let me look at this.
This is what he just said. I want peace and quiet. Unfortunately, this stuff keeps getting shoved in my face. You look for it. You hunt it. Okay? You don't get to do that to us. We're not dumb. You're intellectually dishonest. You love it.
Maybe I have an opinion. And then I look at it and I'm like, yeah, this is where a little bit of the breakdown is happening. I mean, like, can't tell you where the entire thing is going on, or well, I probably really could if I thought about it, because being brown and gay and the fact that I've worked for all sorts of different audiences. Usually I talk about the fact that I work in redneck clubs because that's a lot of where I work.
Oh my God. This guy is a fucking CNC for adults. We get it. You're gay. We get it. You're born here. We get it. You're a redneck. We get it. You like Trump. We get it. You're a Republican. We get it. You have a unique view. You don't. I've never seen someone brag more about nothing. You go on this guy's Facebook page, it says Life Events 2009 Comedy Central. That's it. It's like, whoa. It's not going well. And then in his bio still says he's one of the hottest up and coming. Like, you're not. And by the way, neither am I. We're over the up and coming hottest. Like, who are you talking to? We all, and this goes for every comic, we all probably need to rewrite our bios to be a little less cringe. Me included. It's nuts. Also this, anytime I see this on a thing, who you opened for, don't say that is not a credit. You know, and for you to be a comic who's done it for 68 years or whatever you've done, did Ho Base just subscribe 6 times? Comedian, podcaster, genius, TIE Fighter. I'd like to start a new podcast called the TIE Fighter Podcast, where we just go over his latest lies. Lie Fighter, TIE Fighter, Shy Fighter, Shy Rivera. The time is getting nigh, Rivera.
But a friend had to remind me the other day, they were like, you know, at this point, you've worked for every kind of audience and you work for every kind of audience. So don't limit yourself to just being the gay comedian that works for redneck clubs. That's not what it is. Technically, you're not even a gay comedian. You're a comedian who happens to be gay. And that's something I've said from...
Technically, you're not a gay comedian. You're a comedian that happens to be gay. I mean, the bravery on this guy, huh? To argue semantics like that. Boy, we've really settled it, haven't we? I hate people who argue over something that, like, oh, good, now that we've got it out of the way that you're not a gay comedian, you're a comedian who happens to be gay, didn't that settle something? No, nothing. Okay, great, we're moving on. You reordered words, dummy. This can't be real. This can't be a real guy. Wake me up if I'm dreaming before I go.
In the beginning, but now I identify more as a gay comedian because I do talk about it enough, and I talk about it enough online.
What does that mean? Yes, you're a gay comedian. Fuck off. What is happening? What is happening to everyone? This is not hard life, you know? It's crazy that you're all sitting around making up problems.
Line that I think that's a better way for me to represent it, but I appreciate the compliment my friend was giving, and my friend is right. I do perform for every kind of audience. So,
I also love that, like, a minute ago, let's go over this again, just to remind you of what's happened. We're 7 minutes and 20 seconds in this podcast, and here's what he said. I don't care what anybody thinks about what I think. I'm quitting comedy anyway, and if I can, I'd like to not work much up to that year before I quit comedy. The less I can work, the better. My friend told me not to limit myself to just working redneck clubs. So I'm thinking about that, and I'm thinking about not limiting myself. Which is it? Are you quitting and you don't want to do gigs, or are you not going to limit yourself and open yourself up to a whole new audience? What is happening? 7 minutes, we've caught you in so many lies. I don't know what's happening anymore. You know, how can anyone trust any of this shit? And it's one thing to be like, don't pay, like, look, I talk the whole show and don't put any, like, none of this is like hardly anything. People who have listened to this show for a long time know I don't have any fucking, you know, don't put anything into anything I say. I lie all the time. You're on here going, this is what it is. I'm telling the truth, and I don't care what people think. And it's like, we're not dumb. We're not buying into that. You know, you're either a silly wreck or you're some truth sayer. You don't get to be both. Me, personally, silly wreck. Also, right now, truth's there, though, you know? So I guess we do get it both ways. I apologize to you for that.
The thing with the Nick Cannon situation, I really do feel like, is the media and corporations and the government even maybe just saying like, look, this movement is getting a little bit too big, a little bit too powerful. And one thing that I have noticed is the movement is starting to lose heart when it comes to other people and when it comes to...
I think he's reading again. Like, I'm sorry, bro. I've heard dry runs that have more emoting behind the voice than this. Like this sound, I mean, I could get AI to read this with more fucking emphasis.
Realizing that we still have to function as a country that has all different races, including white people. So we can't completely turn into now we're all doing everything based on the feelings of black people. And the way that some people are talking in the streets and social media, there's an idea in some people's heads that that's what we're going to. And Terry Crews had mentioned it and people got mad at him. And it was something like, you know, without white people, let me pull up the exact quote so I don't slander Mr. Terry Crews. Okay, so what Terry Crews had tweeted was defeating white...
I love all of a sudden he's worried about misquoting somebody. It's like that's how this all started, bro. And then we noticed that that's most of your posts on any medium are you running to your fans, telling them what somebody else did and how you don't agree with it or told them off. That is half of your posts. That is most of your MO. And what we noticed is that you're lying about what happened. You know, it's not fucking 1920. You don't get a comeback from a fucking expedition from some faraway land that we'll never get to go to and tell us how it was and how you fought the saber-toothed tiger with your bare dick. That's not how this worked. You don't get to come on here and tell us all how it is. We have the internet. We know you're lying. You can't block Patrick Melton and then run to your group, to your other friends and go, Patrick Melton just said this, and I told him that was wrong, and I told him he should no. And people who know me know that I stand up for da-da-da-da-da. It's like, oh, you basic bitch. You know, patting yourself on the back for something nobody even fucking did to you. You know, no one said what you said they said. You made up a lie and then you fought the other side. And it's fucking sick. You know, and if you want to do that in your own head, that's fucking fine. You know, order some window shutters and board yourself up for the next year until you quit comedy or whatever you end up, you know, saying you're going to do, because that was a fucking lie too. It's like, you fucking liar. And that's all you got to say. I say it all the time. These are all lies. Don't take anything I say for truth. That's all you got to say. And there's a disclaimer, and this all goes away.
Supremacy without white people creates black supremacy. Equality is the truth. So, people got mad about that. But here's the way I feel about people getting mad at something.
Oh, good.
That
we wanted
simple.
to know.
Now, if it was just a crazy statement, if it was just like, you know, this guy is off his rocker, we all know everybody would just ignore that. People ignore stuff every day. But the thing that bothers people is that A, Terry Crews is black, and B, there is some truth to what he's saying.
Who are you talking to? No one's bothered by Terry Crews being black. We're all unbothered.
Like, you do have to work with people of other races in order for us to get to a place of equality. Otherwise, we do end up with this unbridled power to a particular group, which is what we had to deal with white people, but we didn't have a choice because technically they...
When did you have to deal with white people? Finally dealt with those whites. It's like, what are you talking about? This guy is on another fucking planet. I don't even know what to do with it. Like, honestly, I don't even know where to start. This started out as a silly, fun thing, and the more I uncover about this guy, I don't know if there's making up. I thought this would be silly and we'd have a thing. No, you want to know why it's not turning into a silly fun thing? I'm on to something here. I'm on to something. He goes with everybody. He goes against everybody. He loves wagging his finger. Shame, shame, shame. He loves it. He knows. He knows. He can't. Like, you're a liar. And the only what's weird is you could have played this, all could have been played off. Like, whatever, I'm a gay drama queen, you know what I mean? But that's not how it is anymore. Now it's like you're blocking shit and shutting shit down and building up a wall around you and saying you're quitting comedy. It's like, whoa, what's about to come out about you? What don't we know? What don't we know about you that we're going to find out? Also, it bugs the fuck out of me that there's this white stripe down the side of your video. You see it on my screen here? This going all the way. Like, you know, you bought too big of a poster board for your vision board. It's weird how similar he and Dan Ninen are, yet different. Different comedy styles, same liar. Yeah, look, I mean, we all kind of shade things our way, but it's when you start dragging other people into it that's fucking sick, dude. Like, I don't care. For one, I don't care if you like want to rail against Black Lives Matter and all this shit and give us your opinions on shit. That's fine. That's fine. The minute you drag my name into it and start going, Patrick Melton did this and I told him that, it's like, whoa. You know, nah. And we'll just dig you out. We'll find out all about it. And we've already like, this is mentally unstable. Like, I don't know how to fix this now, Ty. Do you see what you've made me do? Go too far. I've gone too far, Ty. I don't know how to fix it now. Now I have to listen to every word you say and poke holes in all of it, just like my condoms. Don't tell Kathleen.
They were the ones that started this country once they stole the land.
I can't, by the way.
I get what Terry Crews,
and I've heard him on stage, and there's way more energy than this. I can't listen to an hour. Like, I imagine your retention rate for YouTube.
I'm just trying to give an opinion on what I think was going on with the Nick Cannon situation. I really do feel like they felt like, okay, this is exactly what we don't need. This is exactly what we're trying to avoid. Like, oh, you know, if you want to go down that road, you go down that road, but I'll tell you honestly, 100%, I'm not going down that road with anybody. I don't care about any of that. That doesn't affect my everyday life. And I know some people would be able to say, well, it actually does. Well, you were.
This voice is new. I've never heard him doing this voice. He's doing like a voice of me in his head.
Work on that. I'm going to work on what I got to work on. Because me right now, I'm not even getting into any of that stuff. And plus, I really haven't read up enough on it.
So, like, he just said the same thing like 4 different ways. For me, you know, I'm not even going to talk about that stuff because I'm not worried about that. You know, that doesn't affect me, so I'm not going to speak about it. And right now, I'm working on me, so I'm not going to talk about all that. I'm worried about this right now, and I'm not going to talk about that. It's like, okay, this video could have been 7 minutes long. If you edit out all the redundancy, we get it. Nothing affects you, and you're working on you. This is such classic behavior. Like, how does he not know this? You know, anybody in the know, you know, pick up a Jonathan Van Ness book and self-diagnose yourself. Like, this is insane. It's such a weird narcissism mixed with delusion. Cognitive dissonance is right. Am I right?
Centralized banking and the way that all works out. I watched Zeitgeist once. I don't feel like I know everything. I retain very little. If you know anything about my memory, it's not like I'm just holding on to stuff. I take stuff.
Maybe that's why he posts so much. He keeps forgetting he just posted.
And then I kick it right back out because it's like, how much does that affect my life? So when you start talking about all that stuff,
this is also indicative of his lack of empathy and the fact that I think he is a bad guy. Like he like when he blocks someone and when he kicks people, when people say something he doesn't agree with, he kicks them to the curb, both metaphorically and kind of psychologically in his mind. He literally doesn't see them as a person anymore. I've blocked that person and it's whatever. You know what I mean? It's that kind of things. So it's like he does that, like, whatever. They're not even like people to me. So I don't even like, I just step past, I move us. It's like, ooh. It's so dangerous. It's just a weird, for no reason, way to isolate yourself from reality. It's fascinating. I don't even know. I don't fully have that figured out about you, but like, yeah, you love to be just like, whatever. If something doesn't fit the way I see it, it's not even here anymore. And it's like, that's not the behavior of a man or a white woman, whatever you identify as. I don't judge.
Me right there. But, you know, if Nick Cannon felt like that was a good conversation for him to have, he ended up finding out that it wasn't. So they ended up firing him from, you know, his own show or getting rid of him, you know, and maybe the show's going under. Maybe they'll find a new host. Who knows what they're going to do? He'll probably get paid for the rest of his life off of it, though, for the duration of while the show runs.
Nick Shannon is the worst.
You know, he's probably got an executive producer which does exactly like
skipping ahead.
If he tutors people on it specifically, or if he just, you know, really paid attention when he was coming up. But
Ty Rivera's mild and out. Mild and out with Ty Rivera.
Rich can give you the history of Jewish where he, you know, apologized. Country. Well, a lot more blacks and Latinos have actual power now. So yes, they can stop you from getting jobs. Yes, they. Believe me, we won't be getting real equality until probably 2050.
You're never getting equality. Do you understand? Like, this wasn't what this was going to be about, but like, people need to understand where the world they're living in. It's over. And when I say it's over, I don't mean that humans aren't going to be around for another 100 years or 200 years, maybe. There's no coming back. We live in a world, in a society that is quote unquote progressive. And what that means is we constantly have to be moving forward. We constantly have to be striving to be better. It is impossible for everyone. Oh, thanks for the subscribe. Please don't die. What if you just said that to people you meet for the first time? Oh, hey, good to meet you, man. I hope you don't die later. It sounds aggressive, but you're actually being a sweet man. You gotta understand where we're at. This doesn't stop. More madmen are gonna get the nuclear bombs. More crazy, weird factions of racial and societal and, you know, historical organizations are going to pop up and want things, whether it's repercussions or equality or whatever the word is. We're always going to be striving for that. And again, you're never going to make everyone not racist, but that's the goal. Personally, I'd like to see who wants to paint a Confederate flag on the back of their truck. I would like them to have that right so that I know what they're up to. But what we want is everyone to wear a V-striped suit that's, you know, medium gray. #CCC. And just, that was a hex joke for all the nerds. And just ride it out like that. I don't see a way we don't just kill ourselves. That's the end game here. I think that's most likely is it's someone crazy. All it takes is imagine there's a button in every town square that launches a bomb that blows up the entire earth. Like tomorrow, that button exists in every fucking city. Now what? How long do you think it would be before the world blew up? You know, cities could build gates around their buttons and put a glass dome over it, like, you know, old people do at the retirement home. But you can't. These colors don't run. Yeah, they fade like a motherfucker in the sun. Yeah, because all it takes is a few bad actors to ruin anything. And we will always have bad actors. This struggle for equality, and we won't rest until everyone accepts gay. It's like, this is never going to happen. You will always be a freak to somebody. You will always be against God's divine plan to someone. So this idea that you're devoting your life struggling for equality is such a waste of time, and also, I think, another symptom of mental illness. I mean, listen to this fucking idiot. We probably won't have real equality till 2050. It's like, oh, you won't. You're fucking dumb. Okay? There's never going to be real equality. Everyone needs to stop worrying about the rules of the game being fair and just start playing the game. Life ain't fair. Some people are taller. Some people are blonde. Some people are brunette. Some people are A-cups. And some people are Ds. Now, you can go out and get hair plugs and bigger tits. But we can all tell it's fake. Just like all the work you've had done, Ty. By the way, does he have a swastika tattoo underneath his eye? I don't know what's going on anymore. I'm not trying to be fatalistic or get everybody down about, you know, their future. It's going to be fine. You know, there's still going to be avocado toast and hashtags. You're all going to be great because most of you are just fucking sheep going through updating your stories. But, you know, there's nothing good to look forward to in this world. We will destroy ourselves. This doesn't turn around. It doesn't come back. It doesn't get better. And America's on the forefront of the destruction. I don't think anywhere is safe, but we sure are ahead of everybody else in just fucking ringing. And I'm not trying to shit on America. It can't go any other way. We were the best and had the most and the coolest shit, and now we've just used it to ruin ourselves. You know, this idea of rah America, it's, you know, it's nice, but look the fuck around. It's like you can only talk about your new car for a year. After that, it ain't a new car anymore. You know what I mean? Look around. I love people who go like, well, we're free. It's like hundreds of countries are free. What are you talking about? I don't. President Patrick, what is the ideal scenario? We've gone this far in the wrong direction. It's like global warming. It's like ask any scientist worth their weight in schmegma, and it's too late. Like, there's no way. Because any people, I don't care how many ACOs you march out in front of everybody, all it takes is one idiot and one dick to ruin it. You can't go, we're all going to put our guns down and not kill each other. Right, guys? One idiot will pick up guns and kill everyone. So, I don't know what it is. And I talked about that on the last show. It's just like, this is, like, how could it go any other way with the police and I talked about soldiers in the streets, and everybody fucking laughed at me. Who knows? I don't know what the plan is anymore, by the way. Trump's plan could be to have soldiers in so many cities by the time the election happens that he doesn't have to step down. And this is a coup. And you guys all laugh. Here's how dumb Americans are. We've just forgotten. We've had it too cushy for too long, and we've gotten fat and lazy. We can't fathom a plane flying over and dropping bombs, in Shreveport. We can't imagine it. But if I was Russia, if I was China and I'm watching this country, I would go, I bet we invade them, take over every major city before they even get done arguing about whether we're invading or it's fake news. If I was China, you march in here and Red Dawn this whole country, and all we would do is argue about whether to use rubber bullets or not. We're pussies. It's over. Now, I don't believe that, honestly, because I think Trump would hit a button no matter how many plastic things are over it and kill everyone. But I just don't, I don't understand. You guys are all fucking, if you can't see how this plays out for the rest of, we destroy ourselves. That's how it plays out. And God hope Elon Musk gets us to Mars so we can fucking ruin that too. Just imagine you could commit a murder on Earth, fly to Mars, and get a job before they update the database. We won't even have real equality for another 30 years. You're a fucking idiot.
Like that, because Latinos just love to take the back seat. If you had told Latinos to sit in the back of the bus, we'd still be in the back of the bus. There would have been no Latino Rosa Parks. Well, I might have come along and taken that position, but outside of me, there's not a lot of beat.
If it was a white, by the way, if it was a white Latino bus issue, whites wouldn't even be on the bus because we don't want to hear ranchero music as we bounce down a fucking unpaved road. You hear that? Juarez.
Beaners that are really doing it like that. So, yeah, when I say this stuff, it comes from a place of love. It's we do have to have these important conversations, but the conversations have to consist of...
Anyone else annoyed by the way he pronounces Latinos? He's Latino. He can...
Not just you talking at us, but also everybody else saying hey, this is where we see the breakdown. And sometimes it's okay to take that in and be yeah, that might be a little bit of a blind spot for me, or that might be a little bit of a blind spot for maybe not me, but people that I know. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think a lot of people have gotten used to the fact that in this country, it's become very popular to think being strong in your convictions or being a person that actually stands behind what you say means that you have to go down with the ship even when there's new thinking, even when you've noticed that maybe something is a little bit off or maybe there's a little bit to be adjusting. That's something I'm willing to do all the time. In 2000, what was it, 15, when Black Lives Matter first popped up, I was not down at all. I didn't like any of the tactics. I didn't like what people were doing. Yeah. I didn't like the way people were talking to people. And that's another thing. Whenever you mention the way people are talking to people, that's when I get told, well, you're telling black people how to speak or how to express themselves. No, I'm not. I'm saying there's a certain way that I expect everybody to act. And that's black, Latino, white, Asian.
This is the fucking culmination of everything this boils it down in a nutshell. I have a way that I expect everybody to act. This motherfucker thinks, oh, look at that. Thanks. That was so nice, Wes. By the way, if you're generous, these people joining for 6 months and shit, you go to the PayPal link and give me that cash. How dare you make me split that with Twitch? I don't like Twitch. They're not getting my money. I'm coming after them. Why did you just say that to me? The person who just messaged me, and you know who you are. Why did you just say that? What am I missing? Or is there a conversation? I forgot that I typed to you earlier. The point is, Twitch is better than Poo Poo Player. Yeah. Well, we might leave Twitch. I don't know. I'll tell you this. I don't know where to go with this now. I know better than to argue with somebody mentally ill, but I've really been getting into this trolling thing. And even though he's not answering directly, I feel like he's putting he is addressing it though.
I don't care what you are. I think we're supposed to talk to each other with respect, and I think we're supposed to.
But he's got all these weird. He like he did this one. Like he approved a bunch of new people on his Facebook page, and I told you guys about this. I told you he's constantly like, new rule for my page: when you comment, do it like this. Oh, thanks for the re-up. Got him. I don't know why I do that when I have an actual sound effect. He does that shit all the time where he's like, on my page, comment like this. And when you comment, don't come back with this. Or if you argue with me, only go back and forth this many times. It's like all these weird protocols for like how you deal with him. And then he's also like, we've never heard sassy gay guy do this before. He loves the I'm tired or this is boring. Now, don't get me wrong. Things can get tired and boring, but not as often as you say. You know, we're listening to a man do a podcast. You, Ty, I've heard doorknobs and toothpaste with more inflection and personality. You know, before you fire up a mic, how about you fucking gargle some salt water, you know, and slap your face. Little wake up. That hurt. Like, what do you do? Like, are you a content creator? Schmontent creator. I don't know what's happening with you, and we're all worried. Wellness check.
Stay polite with each other for as long as we possibly can. There's times to be more assertive.
Oh, I forgot
what that goes for every.
I forgot what I was going to say. He posted, and again, I know this because your page is public, even though you blocked me, dummy. Also, Vegas comics are sending me so much shit about you. Like, I know everything you've done. Every road trip story, comics you still work with are talking shit about you. And I'll keep it a secret. You keep the stories coming. I got every comic in Vegas' back. You ask any comic in Vegas who's been on this show, who's known me for the 13 years I've been doing shows here in Vegas. You know, I go back in Vegas where all the real comedian, you know, the real old school comics here, you know, like 10, 15 years ago, the funniest guys in this town who like you guys. All these new guys like don't even know these guys or shit on these guys because they all have like families and are like settling down now. They're funnier than you. All these comics that are slowly realizing like they've got to get a job at Geico to pay the bills and to keep their wives from leaving them. And I'm joking. I'm not actually shitting on the comics, but like, you know, these guys are funnier than all these new guys ever will be. And Ty's been around forever, but he approves all these new people on his page. And remember, again, this is a moat. He lives in a castle. He lives in a carefully crafted bubble of thought where no one can disagree with him. And he friended some people, and then he had to come on and tell us. A lot of people are wondering why my friend count went up. Well, he always thinks people are wondering about what he's doing, and we ain't. Although I am now. You got me, by the way. New fans over here. We are all on board, and we all love it. We're into it, and we think it's gay.
Is it gay? Is it gay? Is it gay?
I don't know. We like gay stuff, so we're on board with it here. He has a personality of a poorly worn diaper. Yeah, I mean, like fire up. You know what I mean? Like fire up the fucking voice before you record. This was recorded too. Like, so what is happening? Figure it the fuck out, man. So he friended a bunch of people on Facebook. He let him in, and then he made this post like, just friended some new people. Make sure to behave. And then like said some rules and shit. It's just like, You're out of your mind if you think you get to have your own terms of service for Facebook. Not since Steve Case have I seen. And if anybody gets that, you are real OG in my book.
Everybody as well. There's times when you really do have to put your foot down. And so I get certain things that have happened. That's why up until just recently, I was down with what was going on for Black Lives Matter. I still don't agree with Black Lives Matter as an organization, which people still deny is an organization, which has gotten on my nerves. And I've been clear about that on social media.
This is literally like everybody's reasonable opinion of Black Lives Matter. Like, yes, of course Black Lives Matter, but I think the organization is running a little rampant and taking advantage of the community that they're trying to represent. When it's like, hello, I mean, Black Lives Matter, the organization, the movement, is tantamount to fucking Jesse Jackson or fucking what's the other guy's name who fucking just an opportunistic fucking parasite of a man, the black guy, Al Sharpton. Yeah, Sharpton. Al Madrigal.
Some people are mad at me for that too, but I don't really care because I really do feel like the people that are denying that Black Lives Matter is an organization are just as dumb and blind as the people that deny that the KKK is an organization. Those are both organizations.
Like imagine making a video. Like imagine making a video. This is how I come out one day. Everybody, this is going to be the show. The day I do this, unsubscribe and don't listen again. We're live. Just want to let you know the KKK is an organization. I don't care what anybody says. You know, it is. Imagine doing that. Imagine arguing that point with anyone in 2020. Like, okay, we were all worried. Like, and I wouldn't even entertain arguing with somebody who was like, no, it's not. Like, what the fuck? This podcast could have been 7 minutes long, and been, made more sense.
Say that they're probably the same thing and just different ethnicity or different colored people. I said that they're the same in the way that they're both organizations. So on both sides, we have to be able to call things what they are if we're actually going to get ahead, if we're actually going to address things the way that we need to address them. That's the way I honestly feel about it.
Finally.
So I had somebody jump on a thread the other day about that, and they were like, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard, comparing Black Lives.
This is what are you, The View for no viewers? Like, this is insane. Oh, yeah, this reminds me of another thread somebody jumped on the other day. Your whole life is thread to thread to thread. You know what I mean? You might as well be the main character in Memento. You're just holding on to threads, trying to find some meaning. You fucking nut. Oh, yeah, it's like this other guy in this thread. It's like, oh, really? There was a guy on Facebook who's a fucking out of it? Can you imagine if I fucking felt the need to argue with every dope on Facebook I disagree with? Can you imagine it? You're like, and then this other guy on Facebook said something I didn't like. Huh? Weird, Ty. Tell us.
Lives Matter and the KKK, and I'm watching you, and I'm seeing what you're really, and I'm glad you're watching me, because I'm watching you too, boo. You're not the only one watching anybody around here. And if you're too stupid to understand that I didn't say they're the same thing, outside of the fact that they're both organizations. Somebody is making sure all of the money goes.
He's still telling us that the KKK and Black Lives Matter are organizations. It's like, thanks for the news break.
Wherever it has to go. And right now, financially, I'm sure Black Lives Matter is kicking the KKK's ass when it comes
Do you hear these edits? These weird edits? Listen to that chop. I'm sure right now Black Lives Matter is kicking the
anybody around here. And if you're too stupid to understand that I didn't say they're the same thing.
That was a cut. That was a cut.
Outside of the fact that they're both organizations. Somebody is making sure all of the money goes wherever it has to go. And right now, financially, I'm sure Black Lives Matter is kicking the KKK's ass.
Right there.
When it comes to bringing...
Well, I mean, I'm glad we got the edited version. Like, imagine the director's cut of this. It's just fucking like James Cameron made it. It's on 7 DVDs. Not Blu-ray.
The money, because those dollars were pouring in for BLM. Probably still are. But, you know, people will get mad at me, and I just don't.
No one is mad. We're not mad. We think it's silly, Ty. It's funny. No one's mad. In his brain, everyone out there is against him, and he's standing up in some righteous, you know, weird way. He thinks he's like proselytizing his fucking like ideas to be like, it's no one's upset. We're all watching you going like, look at that guy flail around. We don't even see the bee. You know what I mean? You kook.
I can't make that my problem all the time, you know? Like, there's the stuff that's happening in Portland right now, you know? Like
that's him. That's him. I can't worry about that right now. There's the stuff happening in Portland. It's like, stop worrying about that too, by the way. Trump's rolling troops out. He's taking over. You're all too dumb to realize your frog's boiling. We don't need you worrying about it. We've got our best guys on it. We don't need our worst gays on it.
The federal authorities have started snatching people up, and unfortunately, under the Patriot Act, you know, Antifa, or however you want to say it, has been declared a terrorist organization by the president, and so under the Patriot Act, they don't have the same right to due process that everybody else has. And that's unfortunate for them, but also I'm not really a fan of what they're doing, because I feel like if they really did support black people or BLM, they wouldn't do things that are going to make black people look bad. Which, when you start setting stuff on
this
fire,
is like the
and
classic,
you start breaking things like that,
like Trayvon argument. You know, this is all like no duh shit, where it's like, you know, I don't think federal guys should be swooping in and grabbing people, but I'm not a fan of these protesters either. So whatever. It's like, I mean, agreed. If everyone would just do what they're supposed to be doing, a lot of this would be over. And like I said, I'm not mad at people who are out there working because they have to feed their family and stuff. It's not your fault. It's a complete failure of our government. Like, the government should be paying everyone to stay home right now and fix this shit. Get the testing under control. Figure out the vaccine and stop murdering people. Like, people are just dying. And by the way, every one of you dummies out there posting things like, only 56 more million till we hit how many people had the swine flu in 2009. Remind me again what mask was popular back then. It's like, A, these stats are fucking wrong. You know, we've almost surpassed the number of deaths in the U.S. from coronavirus than the deaths from the swine flu worldwide. And we all know that it wasn't even the biggest problem here in the U.S. So, like, also, you know, we knew more about that virus at that time. This came out of a Chinese kid eating bat McNuggets 6 months ago, and we're all still just trying to figure out the fuck's going on. So I'm not bashing anyone who has to go out and fucking work and do that stuff. I am mad at you in a way for not being a better person where you don't have to go out and work right now, but also because you are the reason, if you're not, especially if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, wearing a mask and you know, touching people. I'm hearing like even comic friends of mine are like, it's like, do what you want to do. I get it. You're 30 years old and you want to drink beer and hang out with friends, but it's crazy that you're doing it right now. And it's not about you. It's about everyone thinking that like, well, I'll just hang out with my group. Like, it's like, yeah, we all think, well, I'll just, right. And that's the America we live in. And because of that, because of your selfishness and inability to process what's happening and truth, you know, now this is going to last another year. This is going to last another year. It drives me nuts seeing people on patios at restaurants and bars right now. Well, there's like The Stand in New York City is doing comedy shows. And in some places, it's fine. Like New York, by the way, is one of the states who did everything right. Like Cuomo's smart. He shut shit down. They're reopening very slowly and very carefully. And they're actually, I think, doing it okay. I don't know if there's anything wrong with sitting people 10 feet apart outside at a restaurant. We all are humans. We're social animals. Maybe that's okay. Yeah, it's tough to find a job. It's tough to find something that's going to pay the bills after that $600 bonus. What? It was $1,200. $1,200. Would you only get $600? Oh, because you're a kid. Yeah, but it's absolutely the government's fault. You know, we're lied to and led to believe. And I love the rednecks who, again, are still... We're in the best country. It's like we ain't. Like I'm watching all my friends in Australia go out, party, do shows. Like it's almost back to normal there, except for Victoria, which had what they're calling an outbreak, and now they're all like locked down again. They had 70 cases, not deaths, cases. And they flipped the fuck out and acted immediately to squash that shit. And everywhere else in Australia, from Brisbane to Perth to fucking Sydney, they're not having to wear masks and stuff. The virus doesn't exist. They did it right. They took it seriously. And we're just meandering through this. Well, kind of one state will do it and one state won't. It's like this is whack-a-mole horse shit. Of course it's not going to work. Of course it's not going to work. Link up that Amazon Prime account. Subscribe to the show for free. That's how I do ads on this show now. Very, very quick, tight stuff.
Makes the movement look bad. And I also understand that, you know, there were...
By the way, this Thai is very promiscuous and talks about fucking guys. Like, imagine how quickly after you come, you would want to leave this guy's presence. Oh my God, he's going to start talking about Black Lives Matter again? Get my dick back in that mouth.
Some black people that were breaking stuff. But for the most part, my understanding was... Black people, including BLM, wanted this to be peaceful protest. That's what they wanted, was to be able to have peaceful protest. So if you have some white kids jump in and suddenly start throwing bricks or just making problems that aren't necessary and aren't helpful to the overall cause, to me, at that point, you're not an ally, even if you're just there to start stuff. You're just there to take out anger that comes from somewhere else. And, you know,
tired thoughts.
That's Antoine Dodson, which I know some people will say I'm racist for even doing that impression.
No one will. The internet is not a buzz about your thoughts. Only here, guys. Come here for your best Thai news.
That's another thing that's been happening lately. We'll get into that in a minute when it comes.
Can somebody make me a Photoshop of just Thai's head in peanut sauce.
To comedy and that.
Because you're a nut.
Like that side of what's going on with race and comedy. I'll tell you, I'm not paying attention to that in a serious way at all anymore. I gave it like a weekend of...
After talking about it this long, he's not paying attention to race and comedy anymore. It's your whole shtick. I mean, it's all you do. Gay and race, gay and race, gay and race. A race for gays.
Of my life for 2 or 3 days where I was chatting with people about it, but I'm not taking that shit seriously at all. These people need to get lives and stop calling themselves comics if this is what they're going to do with their time. But yeah, so what I was trying to get at is when people are looking at this...
The guy who's quitting comedy telling everybody how to handle comedy.
and they're seeing that, it looks like the president is really handling this stuff, and he's putting out law and order and making sure law and order gets enforced, then there's a lot of people that feel like, okay, the president is saving us right now. And what I was saying is, you guys have to be really careful about what's going on right now when it comes to the Democrats, because you guys are getting real confident again. And it's surprising to me that you guys would make this mistake twice. Like, you guys were told there was no chance.
He is right about that. You watch CNN. Oh, my God. They're already pounding their chests. They're all, this is again, Ty, why we would be friends. CNN's already pounding their chest. They're like, Biden is ahead by 10 points. Trump's just embarrassing himself. This is not going to be pretty when he loses. It's just like, are you guys fucking retarded? You said the same thing about Hillary. Hillary was polling ahead and all this shit. And especially when you throw in the Kanye card. Somebody messaged me, did Kanye just pick a running mate? Because you laugh at Kanye, and you know what? He may lose his wife over this, and probably will. But you can't. All he has to do is shave 3% to 5% of the Dem votes, and it's over. Like, it really is. They're so dumb calling themselves winners already. But I would be more worried about what's going to happen if the baby doesn't get his way. What if he loses? Do you really think it's far-fetched to believe that Trump will fight stepping down? Do you think it's really crazy to believe, especially when he has, armed military militiamen in every city by then? What is it, Albuquerque, Atlanta, and Chicago? He's sending soldiers to. You got Chicago, Lightfoot. This crazy bitch, she's telling, pretty much on the low key, telling Chicago citizens, if these soldiers show up in our city, let's take them. So that's good. And people, and again, Americans were spoiled. We don't think there could be a civil war here. We don't even like what? That's crazy. Not here. It's like, bitch, all this country wants to do is fight right now. You have these fucking idiot Antifas out here, and then on the other end you have all the fucking dumb Republicans and the Proud Boys and all this shit. They're all carrying guns because the other side has guns, and if we need to, they can't wait for it to pop up. They all want it so bad, you fucking nuts. And again, you guys all think it's going to work out with peace and equality, and we're working towards something. We are working towards something. It's a pit for all the bodies. So get your fucking shovel and put down your gun, because we'll all be in a
chance Donald Trump is going to be our president. You guys were told that, and you guys still went
I'm packing a bowl.
All your confidence.
I need a bomb.
Hillary Clinton was going to be our president. You guys made announcements. You guys made memes talking about how she was our president. Are going to be our president. Everybody was just assuming that was going to be our president.
You guys made memes
that lulled you into that.
Yeah, we did.
You guys really thought you had it. And then, and like I said,
in his mind, he's really like I'm telling it like it is. And if he thinks if anybody disagrees with me, they just they don't even get it. And it's like, okay, that only works when you're sane. You and Kanye are looking at everybody going like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? And we're all going, cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. Ba-bing, bong, bang. The Soch. Don't ever talk about me like that again.
I've talked about this before. I even, as a person that was voting for Trump, I even got is this possible? I was sure it was going to happen until we got it to a couple days before. And then you got in my head, Anime, and it was one of those things where I was like, okay, I'm going to send my vote out and we'll see what happens. And so, I had to go to the polling place and everything. I took a picture and put it on Instagram. But, I had to do what I had to do. Had to get down there, make it happen. And then...
He's yawning.
My own podcast, but I do that.
Wow.
And then what happened? Donald Trump ended up being your president. So you guys are making the same mistake again. You guys don't learn. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to feel bad for this at all when it turns out the way it's going to turn out, because nobody wants to listen. Nobody. People just want to talk at people. And you can call me a lot of things. You can say a lot of things about me. But I do listen a lot. That's why, people are usually surprised, even though I don't retain a lot of stuff. I know.
Here he goes again. Here he goes again. Like, imagine this. Imagine it. Thank you for the subscribe. Here he goes with his horseshit contradicting again. He's like, on the one hand, he's like, I don't retain things. I don't have a good memory. And he goes, people are always surprised. It's like he always does, like he's acting like he's talking to some big audience. And it's like, there ain't. Unless it's like some secretive shit. It's like, and it'd be easy for you to go on my YouTube and for you to come in here and be like, oh, you had 25 viewers. Oh, you had 32 viewers. Like, you don't have an audience. It's like this, when it goes to audio, goes to over 10,000 people. It's happening. Like, so say what you want. The video shit, the Twitch shit, the YouTube shit. I just started giving a fuck about any of that. Imagine caring about something. Imagine trying. You have 1,000 more subscribers on your YouTube channel than me, I think, and you get a fucking tenth of the views, and I get 200 views. You know what I mean? I don't get shit. I'm not a YouTube guy. I don't know how it works. I just started making trolling thumbnails for my videos. I'm gonna try that for a while. That's funny. People will get angry. But you're trying. Like, you're working on thumbnails. This is a thumbnail you worked on. You fired up Microsoft Paint or whatever and made this. And all your videos have one. And you're like a marketing guy pushing it. Go look at my Twitter. I haven't even tweeted for the past 3 years. I just started again. I don't even try. You could accidentally get more clicks. You guys really thought, who guys? You guys? I don't think so. Give me fries.
Of what I'm supposed to know, and people are usually surprised at the amount of different ways I can come at something, and that's because I have a lot of people that don't necessarily want to be interactive on my page. That's something that's a very big thing. People don't even like to like a lot of the stuff that I post or react to it unless it's really, really benign and has nothing to do with politics, nothing to do with people wearing masks, nothing to do with COVID, none of that. People don't like to respond to my stuff in that way, because I am a person who people will actually come to my page, click to see who's liking stuff that I post, which is very annoying to me that people do this. Because if you know anything about me and
here we go, just insight into how a crazy man's mind works. Listen to this. People come to my page just to see who's liking stuff. We do now. I need everybody. Focus. Find Ty Rivera on Facebook. Send him a request. He'll probably take, he only approves people in batches. And when you do get approved, you will have to click through several pages of information and agree to some terms. I love that. People come to my page just to see what's trending and who's liking stuff. They don't. And you sound like the alien from American Dad. Oh, please. Give me that, Roger. Give me that. Ty Rivera.
Follow me. A lot of the people that follow me are polar opposite when it comes to politics and almost everything else. But they'll like my stuff in some cases.
That's the thing. Like, we agree on a lot of stuff, and this dummy's still running from me. And, this might be aggressive. You watch this for the first time. You see me. I'm a big bearded white guy. I'm screaming into a microphone. I'm 6'5". You go, oh shit, like, this guy could be a problem. Like, I'll just fucking, like, I'm cool, Ty. I'm a nice man. Ask any of your Vegas comedy friends who know me. I'm a sweetheart. You have some good friends who have been on this show. I think you're best buddies with Garrett Hall. He's been on this show. He knows I'm a nice man. He knows I'm a nice man. I would never. Oh, my phone is blowing up.
Because they can hear me saying it. They know what my voice sounds like. So it's not even about liking the point of what I'm saying. Sometimes they completely don't agree with the point.
Yeah.
They're just like,
people make a good point.
I just think Ty's.
Comics are just texting me shit. People are like, we can't interact if you block us from things. Like, yeah, he's just like, people won't even say anything to me about it. It's like, you block anybody. You fucking maintain a Schindler's List of people who are allowed to interact with you. That's bananas. Comedy Quitter, Facebook, Twitter.
It's funny for even saying this, or I can hear it in your voice. That's like a comment that I get.
I like it. This is almost pivoting now to just him giving you his philosophies on how he does social media.
Is people will be like, I read this in your voice. And so it's really not fair for other people to assign a consequence to people just reacting to my stuff.
Holy shit! Can you imagine? It's not fair when people assign something and then it's like, this is what you do.
But it's something
to
that
everyone.
Happens, so
I just
that's something that I have to deal with.
Pounded the table so hard it clicked my magic trackpad and hit play. Watch. Oh.
On the end of marketing and stuff like that. Sometimes it'll, look like people aren't really reacting to my stuff, but some of those things get zero reaction, or not zero. I never get zero reaction, but get very little reaction.
Oh, God. It's like he's listening in real time and then traveled back in time to answer my questions live.
Publicly on Facebook, which I need to get rid of that being the main platform I'm on, because I'm really tired of Facebook and the way people behave there. But that's
Do you know why he hates Facebook? And by the way, he's a big Twitter guy. Imagine being a comic and still tweeting. Imagine it. The narcissism you have to have that anybody wants to hear your quips. You're just going to get canceled. That being said, I am starting to tweet again. I had 30-something thousand followers 5.5 years ago in 2014. I had 33,000. And I've tweeted like 6 times since then. And it's down to 12,000. I haven't tweeted in years, I don't think. And I have more followers. I don't care. You don't like Facebook. You don't like Facebook because Facebook has, for the most part, real names of people, and you have to look a human in the eyes, and you can't lie to them without seeing the look on their face when you're lying. And I mean in conversation, text, or face-to-face. You tell a bullshit lie on Facebook and 9 people with real names are going to call you out. And that's what happened with us. You lied. I said, no. And then you blocked me. Oh, Patrick Melton is a person with feelings. Oh, and he has a show? Oh, fuck. Block. Doesn't exist. Moving on. Thailand. You're out of your gourd, man. Imagine if I was just like, Ty doesn't even have a podcast for us to listen to. And then everyone here had a better day instead of hearing this.
I would say where I get the most interaction. Twitter is starting to really come up. Instagram, my stories, that gets, but I'm naked all the time. So that kind of.
He is. Follow Ty Rivera on Instagram. Don't comment wrong. He will block you.
But it's fun. I mean, like, I have fun on Instagram stories and stuff like that. And that's where people.
It's like, this is a broke, like, imagine a straight white guy. You know how like girls get creeped out by this and like guys still don't get it and still do it? Like shirtless photos in bathroom mirror. Like, your guy's got a 6-pack or the V. And he keeps taking like shirtless photos, and like even like really hot girls who like want a guy who's in shape will be like, it's creepy because it's something else. The signal that it sends that you're like, that there's something off. And like this dude's like 67 years old, Ty. Like, and he's got a good body for an old man, but he's like taking photos of it. It's like when your grandma learns to file her taxes through the computer. It's like you shouldn't be using technology for that. And by the way, I'm sure everyone my age and younger would appreciate you getting off Facebook. We don't need old people cluttering it up, because in your brain, you don't even know how to use it. You think it's a phone book, but on the pewter. You know, you're dumb. You can't wrap your head around how new technologies work. The fact that you're treating it like a physical domain of yours. The fact that you're like, when you're on my page, do this. It's like nobody's on anyone's page. A web browser is a window, and we're just looking into the world of a man with no idea about reality. So we're not on your page or on your lawn. You're nuts, dude. And that's how you look at the world. It's antiquated and it's weird. And the reason Facebook makes you uncomfortable, boil it down, because this is some hard truth, is because it's real people. And you're not good with realness. Hence all the fake stuff you've injected into your body. Hence all the filters. Hence all the posturing and chest beating for causes that seem to be anti-causes, but the constant contradictions. It's because none of it makes sense. Okay? You were wearing a mask long before this pandemic started, and I tell you what, I don't think it was just one, my friends. You look like you've been to a Eyes Wide Shut party, stole everyone's masks while they were fucking, and then left. And then now you go back all the time wearing a different one to try to, get a glimpse at some hard dicks plowing some sweet, sweet bush. Nice, dude, honestly. Josh Denny was a prick. Whoa, how did that come up? I just I don't know how to but you like Twitter because it's easier to argue with an anonymous egg named Party Sweetie 69. Don't ever put a rainbow face on my screen again. I hate seeing guys with girls. Yeah, it's pretty gay. It's pretty gay stuff when you boil it down.
Really get to see my personality. There's some people that come at it from like a sexual point of view or whatever, I guess, but for the most part, people just see it as like my personality, and that's not the way I do it. There's a different way that I would post things if I was trying to be sexual with people. I'm just naked all the time or wear very little clothes all the time.
Roy's texting me. I got to bring this up. I didn't want
to
fucking make every show about Roy, because Roy's like, a lot of the things you're saying about Ty are the things you say about me. Right, you're my friend. I'm trying to help you. So take that, Ty. And this is Roy Johnson. He's a manager at a club, that you've worked at. Did Patrick ever decide the components he was going to put in that Hackintosh? No, I haven't decided to build one yet. It'll definitely be a 10th gen Intel processor, but I don't want to get into the ins and outs of Comet Lake with you people. No. Roy does use Facebook like a fucking... like a grandma doing her it's like, yeah, it's like we don't post when we're listening to a Dylan song anymore. And we also don't post up the lyrics to said Dylan song anymore. You know why? We've already saved those to the internet. And unless you're offering some unique perspective, you just posting up lyrics to some fucking hippie tree-hugging ballad that fits your life right now, which, by the way, it doesn't. Everybody thinks Dylan songs fit their life. And it's like, guess what, dummy? They're like fucking horoscopes. They fit everybody's life. Oh, are you going through something? Is something changing? Like, fuck off. But yeah, we don't need to know. We don't need a picture of your Applebee's ribs. They're standard. Okay? They're substandard. If you're honest, we don't need it. No one cares that you're hanging laundry and then going to have a grilled cheese, or you might take kids to the park later, or you're taking the big guy out for a haircut, or that you love your pug. These are all things we assume about humans. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, this guy loves his dog. Well, that's fucking monumental, and we should put a pin in that and get back to it. How about you let me know all the people who are beating their dogs? Because that's the Twitter I'd want to be on. Send pics.
an Instagram story, especially when I just wake up. Ugh. And also, I want people to see the progression of what's happening with my body because I have been working out a lot and I'm doing different things with my diet. And I want people to
he fat shamed everybody in this pandemic, you know, after his groundbreaking Popeyes video. It's like, I'm working on myself and all you guys are fat fucks. He just hates everybody. He hates everybody, but he's so concerned that they love him. Do I have a good body? Do you like my body? Yeah, we love your body type. Please.
Be able to see what's possible and the way that they can change their bodies if they want to. And, you know, if I can inspire you or
think about it. I could let this play and we could have been done. I had no idea I'd be here on here for 2 hours. I just woke up and I need a shower badly. I was going to have I'm out of drinks. I'm out of coffee and stuff. I'll make this point. We'll take a small break and because I got to piss and get a coffee. But think about what he just said. I've been working out and getting in shape in this pandemic. Working out, working on my body, getting my body like. And again, he is in great shape for an old guy, for an older man, an older gentleman. But he thinks people are using that as a template for what's possible. You know what I mean? He's acting like this is a model home with all the upgrades. And I'm using that because I've been home shopping. You know, you go into a model home, it's got all the upgraded tile and features. And it's got a water feature. And you got the tile and the backsplash. And it's like, oh, these cabinets are extra and this lighting is extra. It's like, that's not how it really comes, you know. But that's the pinnacle. That's the best it could be, usually. The model home. He thinks Ty Rivera, not only the best LGBTQIA plus comedian ever seen, no one's heard of you. Like, don't get me wrong. You're a working comic and you tour. So do I. But the way you acted about me when you casually were like, I never heard of it. I don't know. I've never seen you around, so you ain't shit. It's like, ain't nobody seen Ty Rivera around. I asked a booker in Australia who I found a thing. I found a poster or a website, you know, like blurb for a show in Australia with a booker that I just worked with this year. And I asked them about you, and they didn't even remember you. They didn't even remember you, and I had to send them the link, and I'm not saying a gender on purpose. Female. I had to send them a link about the shows, and then it was like, oh, yeah, what a weirdo. Like, and then but it was like, oh, yeah, what a weirdo, dollary do. And then we all moved on. So this idea that, like, I just did this to my body to show people what's possible. It's like, oh, good. Finally an icon. You know? What would we do if we didn't have this totem to look up to?
Mind you that it's time to go to the gym, then that's something that I would definitely like to do. You know, and not just from an aesthetic point of view, but from a point of view like with COVID out there, we should all be trying to be more healthy. You know, like I've upped my calories because I was, you know, undernourishing myself kind of, you know, I was living in a cut basically is the way that I was doing it before. And then I was like, well, why don't I go for something different? Because I've been, you know, able to stay small for so long outside of like, you know, the times that I get in relationships or I get super busy and I can't really work out the way and then I'll gain some extra weight that I don't need and I'm not like tip top shape. But in a lot of cases.
Tell us again how life works, Dad. You know, sometimes my weight goes up and sometimes it goes down. Life's funny. It's like, okay, box of chocolates. What else? You know, like, we don't need any more updates. I'll tell you, you know, I'll tell you what's bugged me about the TLC show Unbothered. Because I know, look, people have been asking. I know people want to know. Patrick, how do you feel about Unbothered? Well, let me sum up the TLC, because Kathleen's into this, and the boy loves it. We watched TLC Unbothered. Every scene, this... we've coined the term fag dad, as a type of dad. This fag dad comes on and he's like, getting the kids dressed around our house is a little different because, if you have one kid, it can be hard with them struggling and running around. But with 5 kids, it's like, whoa. And then it'll be dinner time and the dad will be like, cooking dinner for one kid is hard, because you got to find something that they like to eat and that they will eat. And you want them to eat, but you also want to give them something healthy. But imagine with 5 kids, it's like that's that whole show. He's like, we get it. Things are a little harder with 5. It's like, okay. Getting 5 kids out into the car is a lot harder. Most families have 1 or 2. It's like, right. But this guy explains it about every situation, and I'm not watching Unbothered anymore. And I know a lot of people wanted to know about it, but now I've got to get a drink. I'm going to get a drink. We'll wrap up the Ty Rivera show in a minute. Let me find something we can play for you people. Did you guys like the business? We'll do the business thing again. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. I love everything about you.
Hello, businesses. I'm here to bank. I'm here to suck your cocks.
You would think that Mexicans wouldn't be there as much, but
I just like that you think that. I like that you think that you go downtown in a suit to suck cocks. I'm here to suck your.
Attention, businesses. I'm here to suck your cocks.
Patrick thinks that that's what everyone in a suit downtown in Tampa
is doing. What else do you need a cubicle for?
Is it every city or just Tampa?
Everywhere. The shareholders want more dick sucking this corner. I don't want to come around the corner and see you guys not dicking around. Wall Street. Just say words. Fiscally responsibility. Johnson, do you have any idea how many dicks I've sucked to get where I am? These suspenders didn't buy themselves. I did not suck all those dicks to get where I am. Yeah. Have you not sucked? Don't listen to me. I'm your father. I've sucked 20 dicks today.
So what do you think the show Mad Men's about?
Just cock. That's why they're so mad. These banks don't pay for them to give me your dick. The nicer your suit, the more dicks you suck.
It's business.
Business.
It's business time.
Cubicle.
What you trying to say? You're trying to say it's time for business. It's business time.
Low time.
It's business. It's business time.
I own the company. I can do anything I want here. I'll put on a suit and we'll suck dick.
Yeah.
Why would you brag about having the tallest building? Because it looks like a dick. Like, look at how big our fucking cocks are. This that's their sign.
I don't think that you know how businesses are run.
There's no dicks?
Airport fisting. I don't think that you've been to an airport or a business.
I went on a tour of Lockheed Martin, and there were all these men in suits, and I was like, where are the dicks? I'm a businessman. Clear my throat. Excuse me. I have to conduct official business. We've got a board meeting today. You better all put your bibs on. Smith, get in my office and get on your knees. Bring your briefcase. I don't want a bunch of fucking girls in here. I like dick, and I like it hard.
You like to conduct...
I want everybody in suits. Tell them it's a business meeting, and they'll come running.
Guy's business meeting.
Guy, boardroom, stat.
He has a desk with swivel chairs.
Yeah. Swivel chairs. There's a lot of guys in suits here. Let's get the fuck out of here. Business.
Business time.
Cufflink.
It's time for business. That's why they call business. It's business.
Cumberbund.
Business time.
Business waist time. Congress, I picture just them having to come in and wet vac the whole place every night. just come. It's like a foam party. Dollars and cents. General meeting. Someone come on my face. Oh, that's not a business thing.
I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how these things...
I'm telling you how... Yeah.
Business.
Yeah. I don't go downstairs and get on the elevator.
I don't have a briefcase with like files in it.
Hallways.
Let me see that.
Manila envelopes.
Johnson? Let me...
A lot of people don't know this. That's what's in all of those manila envelopes. Come.
It's business.
Business.
Business time.
Coming back.
Business hours are over.
Dividends.
Baby.
Toy clip.
It's business. It's business time.
Japanese businessman. I'm a Classy businessman.
I'm a classy motherfucker coming through.
I'm going to international waters.
Business.
Taking
business. Best in the beers. The best in the
welcome back.
Oh, that's what we
to
are.
the Nobody Likes Onion show. That's a flashback to 2010. Mike Bridenstine, who's dead now. No, I don't know. Yeah, let's finish up this tie thing. I think we're 33 minutes into 57. Can you imagine? I can. Let's see where we left off because I don't know what's going on anymore. So we'll just start it wherever we were.
He says, I stay very low body fat, 6.8%.
Oh, yeah.
At one particular time. And I know I've been lower than that even within the last year. So when you're doing stuff like that and you're like, okay, well, let me see if I can build my body up more and also show other people what's possible, then, that's where the Instagram stories really
show
come in,
other
people get to see, like, on the daily. Like,
this is, by the way, one of the most insane arguments I've ever heard for, like, and by the way, I have a graphics card that is clearly, look at this. One of my, one of my cards is overheated or something. Look at that. So we will have some flashes. Don't worry, we'll fix it all in post with keyframes. The idea, of showing what's possible. If you go, I just post. That's what's up with my stories to keep people updated on a day by day. Every one of these posts is the same angle, the same place. The same dumb look on your face and the same, coy look while you cover your cock. We get it. Gay men are whores. We know. I don't know who are these thirst traps, you're trying to fucking imitate. Are there men hitting you up over Instagram? Your straight comic friends are disgusted by it. Pick a brand direction and run. I've never seen someone's brain spider out like a crack in a windshield more than you.
Okay, things do change slightly daily, or, you're filling in a little bit more. And, like, that's another thing that I wanted to do was, like, I want to see what my body looks like as much of a full man body that I can build up as it can do. So
me too, Ty. Me too.
But, like, Facebook is where I usually, like, interact the most, and people will.
He's like, I want to see my body, before I get old. I want to see it looking good. That's why I put it up on Facebook. He's like, oh, okay. Although I hate Facebook. I'll be friends with anybody, although I won't. And I'm a complete liar about everything. Oh, right.
Will assign a consequence to people reacting to my stuff when a lot of times they're not even paying attention, And I, in a lot of cases, do two things on Facebook. I either try to have fun, or I try to encourage people to do things in a way where they'll actually get what it is they want. And that's like all people. That's like anybody that I care about. When I see people...
This is interesting right here. This is a good one. What I try to do on Facebook, and this card is clearly overheating or something, so I'm sorry for the flashes. A lot of higher, higher budget shows, they can afford to fix this. I can't. So you get this. You get this constant flashing. If you don't like it, you're not donating enough money, and I suggest you click the borts and give the bots. But you'll get the idea. I don't think the sound is cutting out. I think it is a strictly video issue. And that's just the way it fucking works. Oh, wow. It is going ape shit now, isn't it? Holy shit. Holy shit. Look at it. I like this. Oh, it'd be cool if it was like stop motion. Like I'm like, and now we just got a black screen. I like that too, frankly. Let me try this. I wonder if we go off it completely and let it cool down. Part of it is this room. Kool-Aid cheered. Shout outs to Kool-Aid. Let me tell you cool comics. We're gonna start a cool comedians list. I don't even need you to be cool. I'm not cool. I need you to be real. We like Chris Waldeck. Listen to what he said. Try to reseat your video connection. Looks like it lost sync. I want you to think about that. I'm live. I can't do that right now. Do you think I'm going to have... I know because of what happened last time that you think we're like having a cute thing. I never want to troubleshoot something with you live again. Unless it's like that audio issue and it's unfucking tolerable. Intolerable. Like, you're still getting audio even though the video's flashing out on this. That's fine with me. This is an audio program. But I'm definitely not going to try to fix this right now. I know it's annoying, so I'll try to put this up. And maybe while it plays, I'll do some fucking around. But we might, just have this for now. I'm sorry. 100 for a new computer. Waldeck, like Chris Waldeck, he's a weirdo, but he's himself, and we like him. We don't like fake shit. We can tell when people aren't comfortable in their own skin, and that's why you aren't comfortable on Facebook. It's too real. You want to be surrounded by eggs and birds. You want to be surrounded by nuts that you can argue with, and no one can call you out for not being real because they're not real. That's what you want.
Really complaining about things, that's when I usually feel like, okay, some of these I can't help with, but the ones that I can help with, let me help. Stand-up comedy, whether you like me or not, which I don't think you're listening if you don't like me, but there's some people that I'm sure. So whether you like me or not, I am good at what I do, and I am funny, and I have been performing for people that are the opposite of me the entire time that I've been doing this. Since I first picked up a mic, I've been performing for people that aren't necessarily what you would consider my target demo. I never got to perform for what most people would consider my target demo, which would be gay audience. Because when I first started doing
this is like a superhero that can't stop telling you their origin story. We know, Ty. We know. No, but I don't think you guys get it. I'm gay, and I was born in Arizona, which is a red state. And I was raised around a lot of white people and racism, and I was brought up with this tumultuous upbringing, and I had to perform for a lot of people who weren't, like, into minorities or gays. It's like, we know, Ty. We know where you came from. We know. Anybody who's seen a set, we know. We get it. Like, no one's sitting around going like, but where did it come from, though? Like, we know. Are you over it? We know. Do you know? Let's move on. This is a guy running around a Fazoli's telling people we don't have breadsticks. It's like, okay, we're here for the pizza. Fazoli's, shout out, their sponsor. Fuck you, Wendy's.
Comedy, that wasn't really an option. And then when I really started doing comedy, gay comics, the ones that were running stuff at that time, now there's different gay comics and this doesn't apply to them, but the ones that were running the stuff at that time, especially in LA, were jealous because I performed in so many.
It's you. No one is jealous of you. You were on Comedy Central when you looked like you came out of a shipping container as a sex slave. Go look at your Comedy Central clip and stop living on it. You know what? I thought for a hot minute in 2013 I'd be a comedy. It didn't work out. Get over it. Stop using it like it's your this didn't work out because everybody hated me and kept me down. You might not have been good enough. You ever think of that? Wrangle it in. There's a reason it's not working anywhere, Ty. You would be successful in one aspect. You know, say whatever you want. I can at least make a fucking living doing this show. I've built an audience up over years. It's like, you have an excuse for everywhere. Like, Facebook people don't get me because they're jealous. Over on YouTube, I may not get the views because haters don't want to show me that they get it's like, what? It's you, brah. This is victim mentality at its best while simultaneously bullying. And people go, oh, you said that Ty was bullying you. That was a joke. This guy could never bully me. I would never allow that. Can you imagine the shit I would get over on Discord? I'm not on Discord. Don't look for me.
Many regular shows at that point that, you know, they all look.
Some nut messaging me on Reddit. Imagine this. I don't know what you're into, whatever your drama is, and I would turn my camera on, but it's so fucking flat. This is just more annoying than not doing it. I don't know what you're like. People will message you with like some drama that they're involved in, like you're up to speed on it. Like, oh my God, okay. So over in this Reddit, we're talking about this, and we've got screenshots, and we got the proof, and it's just like, hi. I don't know who you are or what you're after. Whatever, man. If you're just going to be a faggot and take their side, it's like, whoa, I don't know what you're talking about. What? People are so in their own heads about shit. He thinks we need to know where he, like, when I grew up, I put up with a lot. It's like, we all have shit, man. He doesn't understand empathy. He doesn't understand that, like, I came from a troubled child. So did you. And we don't care. We're not all like, oh, this guy's got a crazy upbringing. We all did. So stop telling us about it. We get it. Rocky past. And you've come out shine bright like a diamond.
Look like amateur hour because the only time they would ever go up was when there was a gay show, and there were only limited gay shows to go to, and there were almost no gay open mics. Now there's open mics in a couple gay spots, but you know, things weren't like they are now. So, you know, I would come in and just blow them out of the water, which of course led to me being ostracized. And you know, that's not something I'm bitter about because it made me be
This is exactly what happened. Like, this guy was good. He is a good comic, you know, or at least. Also, this thing happens where, like, these guys like write a set. Like, he probably has a banger, like, you know, hour set, couple hours, whatever. You know, this isn't a slam. And then they like never write another joke, and they just like kind of like, you might write another joke, but it's all in that same vein of like open mic or like point of view. Like, for a 20-year-old comic or longer, you know, you've got the point of view of a fucking open micer. It's like, we get it. You're gay. We get it. Like, you're the only one who hasn't come to terms with what you are and where you've come from. Right. Isn't every comic fucked up as a... Right. Like, this point of view, this voice you've developed is juvenile at best and basic at worst. Everyone can see what you are. Everyone knows what you're doing. And for you to come with the attitude of like, when I hit the theme, people couldn't handle how good I was and got jealous. It's like, no, you were good. And then you got stuff because you were good. You've gotten a couple TV things. This is a long time ago. And then you got cocky and you're not as good as you thought you were. So other people passed you by, and then you needed someone to blame besides yourself. So you said people held you back because they were jealousy of your earlier success. That is not always true. By the way, especially right now, motherfucker. And in this, you know, you arguing about equality a minute ago. Who's equal? I don't have the advantage now. You have the advantage now. 12 years ago, whenever you got on Comedy Central, you had less advantage than you have now. Now you have double wokeness going on. Double your wokeness. Like, you have gay and you have the Latino thing going on. So I don't want to hear about it. It's like, the reason I'm not getting any shit is because they're jealous. The reason you're not getting any shit is because you're catty. People don't want to work with you because you're difficult. And you make up lies about people, even your friends. And they're through with it, bro. Your friends. People who ride in cars with you to gigs are messaging me stories about what a disaster and a nightmare and a fucking cat shit litter box person you are. And we're not impressed by it anymore. We've all got things. So we're not sitting around going like, buddy, listen to what he had to deal with. These aren't excuses anymore. No one's jealous of you and holding you back, especially comics in LA. Fuck off.
Better comics. So it's not something I hold on to in a bad way, but this is just the reality of the way that my comedy career has worked out. So when I'm seeing people that want to make a change even for themselves as far as the way people treat them or the way the world reacts to them, it's like, this is something I can help with. When it comes to comedy specifically, that's something I can really help with.
Imagine that. Imagine a guy who no one's paying attention to telling you that he can help how the world sees you. It's like, bitch, you can't help the world even see you. How are you going to help how they see me? No one knows about you, Ty. Get in your fucking lane. You're in the Pope car. You're in that bubble mobile. Sick boy. Don't touch. Do not touch. Do not come near. Dude, I don't think that I'm having some influence on people and I can change how the world sees them. It's delusional. Wake up, Ty. It's time. Wake up. This is insane talk. Whenever I see someone trying to better themselves, I try to reach down and lift them up and help. I can help with that. Oh, why? Because you've done it? You have to be on the mountain to pull someone else up. You're a mess. What are you going to help with? Ambiguous messaging and contradicting yourself? Oh, lies too.
Then the other day, people were upset at a comedian by the name of Jessica Curson. I believe it's pronounced Curson. I could be wrong.
She is a comic everyone knows and has heard of. You aren't. I think it was her name. I pretend not to know people so that I sound higher and mightier. I never heard of Patrick. Jessica Curson, is it? Jeff Dunham, was it? I look like his puppet Peanut.
Full disclosure, I don't actually know Jessica. I've seen her perform once. I think I introduced myself to her. She's friends with a guy named Frank Liotti that's a gay comedian from New York, and he's super funny, super funny. I met him, and then I hit him up on Facebook, and I just think he's so entertaining.
Nothing about this is unbothered, right?
And so great, and I love him, even though I don't know him, just met him once, but I love him. I think he's great. And then
cool story, Gossip Girl.
Jessica, I think, is really funny, really great. I automatically fall in love with anybody that's really good at what they do or what what we do. When it comes to comedy, stand up,
what they do, what I do, what we do. Okay, you quit.
Love it when people, and I love those people because I'm like, yes, this is what I need to see. People absolutely kill it in a room, destroy it. And I had always seen Jessica online, and so I already knew her, and I think we were Facebook friends, or I had liked her fan page. I'm not sure which it was at the time. Now I'm pretty sure it's both. I'm pretty sure
Ty Rivera friend requested me and became my friend on Facebook. And then he's like, I don't even know who this guy is. Unfriend. It's like, okay. I guarantee you my fat, white, bearded ass wasn't chasing after some Asian twink. He's not Asian. I keep thinking he's Asian because his name is Ty. And, look at him.
Online, and then one day she dropped in at the Comedy Store and just absolutely destroyed it, and I was like, this is so great. This is exactly what I like to see. And so I think
imagine him, again, this is just such crazy. I can see him sitting in the Comedy Store on Sunset Boulevard in Los Angeles, sitting there watching Jessica Curson, who has nothing to prove to anybody. I think she was on the last Comic Standing. She's been a name nationally, at least in the comedy community, for decades. This guy, who's a nobody in the comedy community, you know. If you headline the clubs I headline, you ain't shit. You standing in the back, Ty, watching Jessica Kirsten crush it and going like, this is what I like to see. Comics doing well. Yes, this. It's like, okay, who cares? Like, you're giving this your nod of approval? Like, you're the fucking judge in the back? X Factor, fucking people up? Get real. This is fucking insane. This guy sucks. No, he doesn't.
I think I introduced myself to her that night, but we're not friends. We don't know each other. So I'm not trying to paint it like, we're besties. That's one thing. Like, when you say anything that's positive about people online, other people get like, oh, your friend? Why don't you talk to your friend about this? And
I love that he's becoming he's becoming the mimicked impression.
Like, I never said we were friends like that. I don't even know.
It sucks when people say you said something you didn't say, doesn't it, Ty?
Why are you so stupid in the way you deal with people? Oh, talk to your friend. Why don't you go back and talk to your friend? Why don't you get a fucking life, bitch, talking about shit that doesn't affect you? How about you get funny? How about we do that? Can we do that? Can we?
Who? Oh, look at it. Listen to him bow up right here. You name the stage. You know what I mean? Like, this is an insane also argument that comics do, and it's a 100% great way to find out how secure someone is. I don't care how big the argument is, how big the fight is, how big the clash, and how permanent. When you just are friends with someone and you say they're funny, or you think they're funny, or you work with them on a project because you think they're funny, whatever, you've signed off, whether officially or not, verbally, literally signed off on them being funny or not. And then when they piss you off personally or get a problem with you over something else that's not even comedy related, and they come back and go fuck him, he's not even funny. How about you get funny, bitch? It's oh, okay. Nothing, because either way you look like a piece of shit. Either you lied and told them that you thought they were funny, or were working with them when you were saying they were funny. Now they're not. So it's or it makes your little broken, bird bones feel good inside to put someone else down in that way. It's I've never said Ty's not funny on stage. I've seen him do great. No problem with this guy as a comic. No problem with it. And all the stuff about his set earlier, that's all speculation. I don't know anything about his set. I've seen the guy do 10, 20 minutes. So I don't have an opinion on it. I can tell you I've seen him, and I've seen him do great, and he's funny. As a person, this is a garbage fire. This is insane stuff. But when you start going you get funny, and then it's oh, okay. When you don't even want to acknowledge facts and realness.
We all just get funny. How about we all just agree we should all just be funny? How about that?
And yeah, he's also the guy that when things start turning against him, he doesn't want any of it. This is other super basic bullshit, that comics do. This thing of yeah, no, I don't want to do this anymore. Let's all just fucking be funny. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to argue. Let's just be. It's because you're losing. Because you're losing. You know what I mean? That's the only reason to change the rules mid-game. And when you come out and go I like to do two things on Facebook: help people and just be silly and have fun. It's yeah, right. So when you say help people, you mean tell them your opinions and what you think they need to do to get to your level. And then when they disagree with it, because some people can see through your horse shit and know that you're a fucking liar, the minute they see that, then it's bitch, I was just being silly. I'm a silly. It's yeah. It's real fun and cool to change the rules. This is basic behavior. It's stupid, and you're not fooling anyone anymore. We've seen this. It's the most simple kind of trolling. You lie to somebody, and then they believe what you said, and then you go, oh my God, it's not even that, it's this. It's oh, you got me. It's okay, good prank. It doesn't make any sense. So you like he's not even funny. It doesn't, like, what are you doing, bro?
How about we stop listening to people that aren't funny? How about we stop listening to people that don't go...
What? Dr. Fauci isn't funny. I still don't doubt his medical expertise. Let's only listen to the people that are funny. Are you running for president on a box of kicks? What is happening? I've seen mazes on the back of Captain Crunch boxes that I could take more seriously than you. Standing in an elf costume, raising your scepter to the sky, going, let's only listen to funny people. Like, what?
Up that don't do stand-up. We have so many people in these comedy groups in different places that are believing that they're stand-up comedians because they went up in an open mic once. It's like, that's not the way this works. So keep your fucking bullshit opinions to yourself on something that you don't actively do. There's nothing more frustrating than these people that don't...
You just said you can't do it anymore and you're quitting. Now you're writing a handbook on it? I've never seen anything like this in my life. Like, dude, get in or get out. But shut the fuck up. This isn't your page. You can't control it. I don't like when comics act like this or say this or do this. So, you don't get to like everything, bro. It's not how the world works. It's juvenile, and it shows something that you can't do with your brain. Think. I don't know who taught you, and this is so crazy to be saying this to a comic who goes around telling people to stop being offended by everything. It's like, you need to get over yourself. The world is not going to bend around you like that Matrix spoon. Like, it's nuts how the reason you're losing your mind is because everyone's not doing everything the way you do it. And like, most people figure that shit out like in their teens, like, oh, there's other people and they have opinions and thoughts. And they don't always go with mine. And sometimes I'll just keep mine to myself because it's not important and we don't need to get in a fight. We just need to work together. Not you. Comics need to do this, and we're only listening to funny people now. It sounds like you've got a hell of a platform for the mentally ill plan of the United States, you nutball.
Even actually do it. Getting in the way of funny people. Like, every time they get in the way of somebody, it's always somebody funny. It's always somebody good. And what happened was, Jessica Kirson does these online, like, sketches, you can call it.
Can you believe when you hear this voice that this guy's like 60? Will somebody find out how old he actually is so we can put an end to this? Because, we have people in here saying he knew dragons. I need to know how old, actually.
And they're just her, usually. Sometimes she does them with, her friends. Like, I know she's done them with Frank before. But usually they're just her. She did one in particular, apparently in 2016. The name of the character was Shaniqua. Shaniqua was a black character. She didn't do blackface, anything like that, just a voice, and it was saying some stuff about Trump, and I didn't really pay attention to the sketch itself. I did see it, and I could, play the audio here, but I don't want to do that because if anybody has soft feelings and this is their first time hearing it, then they could go back and give her a hard time, and I don't want to make any more headaches for this woman than she's already had. She doesn't deserve any of them, in my opinion. Not a single one of them.
This is almost what he said about me when he posted. This is almost the same language he used. He goes, just saw a guy who identifies as a comic post this. I don't want to mention his name or get into it, but what he said was shit, and then I said this, and I'm right, and people know I stand up for people, and I'm a champion. It's like, but he lied. So, whatever he's even saying here, I don't believe it. Because this is the same language you used at me, and the whole purpose of going off on me was just to make yourself look like a fucking white knight champ.
If you want to have a conversation with somebody about something like this, you have a conversation with them about it. But you're not canceling anybody. You're not canceling a 30-year career, which I believe is how long she's been doing it, for 30 years. So 30 years of career, and then she puts out this sketch that's
after Jessica Kirson for something. I don't even know what.
Under a minute, and at all, that this is now supposed to be racist. And the was a black woman, one of them was a white woman, and I still don't see how a woman doing an impression is racist.
We get it. You've been talking about it for 10 minutes saying the same thing.
Even if you think it is racist, I still don't think that we... So like, and then she said that I got ran out of LA, so I put a quick post up on the board about that. And then a bunch of LA comics, like that's where everybody did like have my back, because me leaving LA, I did an episode of this about it, and it had nothing to do with...
Well, that's why nobody knows about it. You did an episode of Unbothered? Oh, good. Sorry, we didn't get the update.
Anybody like trying to run me out of LA, nobody that was trying to talk shit to me online in LA was in real life. If anybody knows anything about me
like,
during that,
I can't even, like, if someone came out and go, you were run out of it, like, so I moved from LA to New York in 2014, the end. If anyone came out and were like, you were run out of LA, I would, like, can you imagine even responding to that? I wasn't run out of LA. Like, a lot of people said I was run out of LA, and then I went and made a post, and I was like, no, I wasn't run out of LA. And then people came and stuck up for me because the idea of me being run out of LA, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? This doesn't sound unbothered, bro. If anyone said that about me, a guy in the chat said, Melton's an open mic. Like, who cares? Like, okay. Like, I don't care, you know? Trevor Trays Mala, a guy I don't even fucking know, you know, at all, aside from seeing him at shows, has run his mouth and said, Patrick's not really a comic. It's like, okay, you know what I mean? Who gives a fuck? I never even heard of that guy till I moved here. Does that mean shit? You know what I mean? People go to fucking Australia and they've never had Vegemite before. Does that mean it doesn't exist and it isn't a product that sells in the millions? You guys are insane. The idea of even going online to go, Patrick's not a real comic. Oh, God. The idea of me fighting it would be bananas, you know? But I'd rather just come online and go, fuck, who cares? This guy, like, I didn't get run out of LA. And then he has charts. This is so 9-esque, you know? He's like, here's the thing. Like, okay, so here I bought gas. Here's the credit card receipt. And then I was leaving, and then I had lunch here. And this is enough for 2 burritos at this place. So I was having lunch with a friend, and you don't get run out if you're buying lunch for somebody. So we were having lunch, and they knew I was leaving LA on purpose to find my, like, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Welcome back, Babaruska. We love you. Babaruska, the star of our latest, if you go to our YouTube channel or our Facebook page, a star of our latest show clip, Babaruska. It's called How to Get a Twitch Subscriber in 3 Minutes. And he's the guy.
A particular time, I was out more than ever at that particular time, and comedians that were actually doing comedy were really having my back during that time, because while people were trying to call me all sorts of names and shit on me,
like, imagine going on a thing and being like, I didn't get chased out, people had my back. It's like, okay, I think thou dost protest too much. Like, this is nuts, dude.
And everything else.
This is how you know there's more to it. You know it's a bit of a lie because of how much it's being argued.
I was showing up at every open mic doing spots just like everybody else and working on the stuff that I had to work on, because I was turning out a bunch of new material at that time that was supposedly controversial, but it was making a lot of people laugh, so it was really going well for me.
He loves that. He thinks like he's doing stuff nobody else could do.
So it was like, who would have been running me out of town? Like, I was getting on everything. I got canceled, quote unquote, online and worked more than ever immediately after that. So I don't really know what anybody thought was going on at that time. And this person that was arguing with me, this woman, was living in Chicago, lives in Chicago, didn't even live in LA when I was in LA. So it's like, so now you're trying to tell me that I got ran out of...
So now, you know, somebody said he got ran out of LA and he argued with them for hours on a long thread, you know, and then he's like, and then one of the people was in Chicago and she said, she doesn't even live in LA. So how does she even know though? How does she even know? It's like, okay, you didn't get run out of LA. And what? That doesn't make you less nuts. Keanu Sleeves.
Out of a town that you weren't even in, and you don't know the facts to that particular situation. So I educate you on that, and you won't accept that.
Wait, people have to know who you are to be run out of a town. The idea that anybody ran Ty Rivera, TMZ was on the K. What are you talking about? No one thinks you were run out. You probably pissed a lot of people off, and then you left uncomfortably. You know, I don't know, bro. Get it real.
Like, you know the story better than I do, bitch? How's that even possible? Like, you didn't even know I existed, because that's another thing. She was like, I never heard of you. It's like, well, then you never heard of me. Sorry, you don't know your industry.
Do we have Esther and Stephanie back in the chat? Circa 2013. Welcome back.
Hot shit.
Oh my God, that is so nice to know.
Hot shit.
I'm gonna come. 2 lesbians I jerk off to a lot.
Like, you know, when people tell me that and they're comedians, if a regular person tells me that, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I'm not famous, whatever. I don't care about that. You know, but when people that are other comedians
I still have a dress that Stephanie made me.
Tell me that, I'm like, yeah, then you must not get out much, because whether people like me or not, a lot of people know about me, and a lot of the comics you respect either like me or love me. I mean, like, real comics, like comedians that actually work.
Imagine going on a podcast. By the way, listen to the energy from the beginning to now. This guy was asleep, you know, more than sleepy Joe Biden. He was. Do you remember him reading and like not passionate at all? And now he's like into this 20-minute like defending himself being run out of LA. It's like, whoa. So you start to understand people can't hide these sort of verbal clues. Like he is I gotta get my fucking thoughts together here. I just smoked some of my weed pipes. I'm out of my mind. Look at this now. I like this actually. Is that how is this working? Look at this. Oh yeah. What the fuck is happening? That was fucking bananas. I liked it. Oh man. Gotta get a new computer in here. This is fucking crazy. What was I just talking about? I fucking completely blanked. God damn it. What was he saying?
Aren't really arguing about shit like this on the regular. I'll let you guys see behind the curtain on that. When it comes to actual...
Oh, his intonation. Yeah. So, like, look how passionate he is now. He's mad that somebody was saying that he got kicked out of LA. There's something to this story. I'm not saying he was kicked out of LA. I'm just saying, like, no one gets that upset about an accusation that again, some guy on Reddit messages me and starts saying that somebody's saying that I'm a pedophile and like all these links and I'm just like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I don't even okay, I know I'm not a pedophile. I know I haven't fucked kids. Can you imagine making a big stink out of it? Like, I don't I joke about fucking kids all the time. You know why? Because I don't fuck kids. I feel like people who are out fucking kids probably don't, they keep it kind of hush hush. I think the same with racism to a point, and sexism. Like, I make gay jokes and black jokes, but I don't like seeing a black person or a gay person mistreated. I like what's happening with these colors. This is crazy shit. But you can hear he's passionate now. He's fired up now. We know it's flashing. It's broken. Deal with it. It's part of the show now. It's a filter. This is a test. We wanted it to be this way, you idiot. We're trying to see what idiots mentioned it. What a fucking idiot.
Comics, even if I don't agree with them, working comedians agree with what they said, I'm not publicly bashing them because we're all just trying to work. And there's very few things. Imagine
going, other working comedians also think I'm good. So, imagine doing that. Like, no offense, but at the crux of it, I give a fuck what any other comedian thinks of me. And I mean from Ty Rivera to Roy Johnson. Like, if Roy Johnson one day would just I don't think you're fucking funny, man. It's like, okay. I'd give any fucks. In the same way with Roy, when I tell him he acts like a teenage girl when he fucking posts on Facebook, he should look back at me and go, okay. Fuck you. You know what I mean? I wish he wouldn't, because it's embarrassing to hang out with a man like that. You know, take off the boat shoes and stop posting. But, you know, he has the right to tell me to fuck off. Imagine him doing a podcast about it. This is banana. Like, no, there was this other comic who also said I'm a good guy. So I've laid out the case pretty, like, okay.
Things that actually make me feel like it's worth getting in the way of somebody else working. So that's where I'm at on it. So you're already letting me know you're an open micer by all the shit you're saying. And the fact that you don't agree with somebody doesn't mean they're not funny. It doesn't suddenly make them a hack. I'm a lot of things. I'm not a hack. So
you just went off calling people not, like, do you hear the fucking manic energy behind this guy? Like, he's all over the place.
You know, it's like you're saying these things that aren't at all pertinent to the conversation that we're having. So this thing that's supposed to be so important to you, that you feel so strongly about, you cannot explain it. You can't just say, this is why I think it's racist. Instead, you have to go to everything else. Well, now I don't respect you on any level. Not only do I not respect you as a comic, I also don't respect you as a human being or a person trying to make a point. I don't even think you're a smart person at this point.
Like, okay, the minute I worry about whether Ty Rivera thinks I'm a smart person is the minute I worry about whether the fucking ground thinks I'm the sky. Like, what? Like, what? You got, and then the voice just gets whinier too. Like, whoa. Imagine a heckler like saying something in a show and him being like, no, I don't suck. Like, what? That's the thing, is on stage, this guy has confidence. Who knew off stage it's just like, oh boy, he is crumbling. Like, I'm like, what happened?
You know, and I let it go on way too long because, like I said, I was a moderator of that particular group. But, like, towards the end of that little part of the conversation, I hit up the other.
Imagine Ty being a moderator of a group. Like, that seems like a good idea. Give this guy a little power. You know, he's already the most narcissistic person in the world. This is what happens when Jafar gets the lamp.
Moderators, and I was like, yeah, I'm done with this shit. Turning in my badge, folks, because I felt like the only reason I even let it go on for as long as it did is because I felt like as a moderator, it was almost like I had a duty to be somewhat customer service and be somewhat cool about it, you know, and somewhat explain my.
I don't think you could be cool if you tried. Go. We'll wait.
Myself, and I tried. Even at the end, you know, like towards the end, I even told her, I was like,
it's such a like, it always blows my mind when I come across these like older gay men who have like a 16-year-old girl mindset. It's like an old gay, like this guy's like 60, you know, roundabout, give or take a decade. Like, and he's talking like a teen girl. Like, I've never, like, and then people stand just that fucking cadence. It's like, whoa, were you molested? That's what Dr. Drew hears in your voice when you call into Loveline.
You know, if you ever end up in Vegas, hit me up. I'll try to hook you up with some spots. I don't hate you. I don't dislike you. You know, I just don't agree with you on this particular thing, and I don't know why you're.
But it's weird to like block people you don't like. Him and I didn't hate each other either. Like, we just had a little thing. You know, I went away for a minute, and then he fucking kind of spun out and unfriended me. But it's like, then let's talk. Then if you're cool and this is all a misunderstanding, let's talk. And you know, because this is a show. I am being hard as fuck and bashing every little, you know. And by the way, don't, you know, if you watch this show and think this is some skill, like, oh my God, how many six zingers and burns? This is fun to do, but it's easy. You can play anybody's anything like this and then comment on it and come out like, oh my God, look how many gotchas. And it's like, okay, you know, these are all zingers. And I mean this in good fun. And when I say it, I actually mean it. Like, there is no malice behind this. I do think you're an insane man. And you do use other people to make yourself look good. And you do step on people in the name of being a good person. And I think that makes you kind of a bad person. But that's just me. And I could be proven wrong. I don't know you. I'm showing you what I see. And I heard a sleepy boy in the beginning talking about Black Lives Matter, didn't seem that concerned. And now that it's about you and your ego and your fucking, like, it's like, and then they said, and then I know a guy who also said, I'm pretty good. It's like, okay.
You're trying to bring up a bunch of other things that don't matter. But really, I don't hold any of this against you. You know, people have emotions. And then she said some shit like, you know, well, I wouldn't even look your direction. And it's like, all right, bitch, well, then don't look my direction. I don't need you either. Like, that's what a lot of people don't get is I don't, and I know it really bothers.
We know you don't need other people, Ty. Do you? Do you know that? Just going to leave that there.
People, because I think they do get it, and that's why they're so bothered. Speaking of unbothered, they need to get unbothered. But I think
real tough talk. Listen to him fade out. It's like this guy, he is done. He wants to quit because he's burnt out. Like this guy shouldn't. Like you're not funny anymore, dude. You've lost it. You're you know, this almost happened to me 2 weeks ago. I spiraled out, you know, and I'm over it now. I'm out licking fence posts. I'm trying to get the virus.
I think that's what really does bother people is that they know that I don't care. And whether
I see again, it's all framed. It's everything this dude says is framed in this like me and people looking up at me. He's like, I think that's what when people see me, that's what bothers people about me. And it's like people ain't seeing you and people ain't bothered. Like I didn't give a fuck till you came on my page and then went and lied about me. You know, you create all this drama. I don't need people. It's like, okay, tell your younger self that and then start using your big boy voice. I can't wait till your balls drop. Also, should you be taking photos in front of a mirror like that with a voice like that? Because that's child porn.
Whether or not they like me is not going to affect anything. It doesn't hurt.
I've heard Subway sandwich artists with more oomph in their voice.
It doesn't hinder my sleep. There's nothing that happens to me outside of, like, you know, when I'm online and I'm doing this shit, like, you know, sometimes people are like, you know, you argued with that person all day. And I was like,
sometimes people are like,
no, technically that was kind of quick because I'm good at just saying what I have to say and then being done with it. Like I said,
that's his whole MO. He says what he has to say, then he blocks you or leaves and goes like, I'm bored with this, whatever. And it's like, that shows you why he's a bad, like he doesn't consider other people real. And he also is so dishonest to himself because he just walks away from arguments thinking he won. And he's so delusional that in his head, he's like, nail that, won that. And it's like, dude, you didn't. You didn't. You don't just get a pull the plug and then go, I won that one. It's like, fuck. It's 12-year-old shit. I'll also explain why I don't like arguing with other comedians on it's like, right. Like, man, I've done over 3 hours on this 57-minute show about you.
One went on longer than I wanted to. That one took like longer than I wanted to. It was like 2 hours, but it was mainly because the white one wouldn't shut up, and it was like, you're so unnecessary. And eventually what I did was I isolated the white one because, you know, the other one, the black one.
Eventually what I did was isolate. What are you, hunting?
Woman just wasn't good at anything. Like when it like, and if I sound grossed out, it's because I really am. I hate when people aren't good at making their arguments or like putting up a debate, you know.
Ty, what planet are you on? Honey, get a mirror. I know you have 19 of them. Have you ever seen someone with so many mirrors who doesn't see themselves truly? Like, this is I hate it when people aren't good at things and can't argue. It's like, oh my God. Fuck.
And even if I think everything you say is bullshit, if you're good at wording it, I'll be like, yeah, that was cool. That was respectable. But when you just can't do it and you're trying to...
And you're always like, but I'm fair, you know, if you do that, it's like, you ain't, bro.
Like... finesse with personality. I'm like, yeah, you don't even have a good personality. You're not.
Says the guy who does his own podcast like he's reading a DMV pamphlet. You know? This is like, who are you talking to? Who's not funny? Who has no enthusiasm or personality? I'm sorry. You being super promiscuous, taking shirtless pics and dyeing your hair and cutting it different lengths and getting tattoos on your face because you're lost and confused about who you are doesn't equal a personality. Go through the fucking mugshots of this guy for the past 10 years. Did you find you yet, Ty? Jesus Christ.
You're not good at anything. Ugh. You know, but the white one, I ended up like isolating her and making my point with her because I had told her in some.
Also, he's not about race, but this is how he talks about people. You know, I don't even see race.
Yeah,
I called him Asian, so I'm truly woke.
There was little Jeffrey Epstein wouldn't do to.
What just happened? How did we get on 60 Minutes? I was finishing the Thai vid.
Just when it comes to white people and being offended for other people, that's not something I do. So let's just not do it. And then she still kept pursuing me. So I was like, all right, bitch, let's fucking do it. And sure enough, she turned out to be exactly what, she fucked up. And I'm not going to tell you guys how she fucked up because I'm not trying to ruin her.
See, this is what he does. This is perfect fucking MO. You liar. This is what he does. He goes, so I was arguing with this girl for 4 hours, and then she was just dumb. Like, she didn't know how to argue, and it's so annoying when people don't know how to argue. And anyway, we went round and around, and then she fucked up. I got her so good. She fucked up so good. I'm not going to tell you guys how she fucked up and how I got her. I don't need to embarrass her like that and bore you guys with the details. But I got her good, man. I fucked her up. And then I blocked her and deleted her. On to the next one, right, brother? Another one.
I'm not going to tell you her name, but I did end the conversation by being like, yeah, you could get canceled over what you just said if I wanted to be.
How many views does this video have? 31. Well, it's just this morning.
An asshole about it.
He's got almost as many as we had live.
If I really wanted to be an asshole, you could get canceled just for that. So how about from now on, when you're...
Now he's threatening. Listen to this pivot. Another fucking Thai pivot. Oh, really, bitch? If you want to keep going, I could get you canceled for that if I was like that. It's like, oh my God. Oh my God. How confused are you about what you want? You've gone from like, I'll get you to like coy threats. It's just like, ugh, this fucking guy. You are not going to be invited to my pool parties, and you will be the background of my dartboard.
You're trying to cancel other white people. You take this feeling with you. And remember what it's like when you don't know that you fucked up, but the other person definitely knows that you do. Or did.
What a nut.
Because she did. You know, it was just like, you know, if I wanted to play the, like, you know, she's racist. She doesn't care about brown people.
Told you he was one of Jeff Dunham's puppets.
She cares about certain people like black people. If I want to do that, I definitely could have. But I have no interest in doing it.
Right. I have no, you know what? I have no interest. I'm bored. I'm losing, so I'm bored. Or I'm going to like delete the person and then tell the story. Revisionist history. I'm bored. Him and Trump. No wonder he likes Trump so much, you know? This fucking cognitive distortion field that they've all built. Like, we don't have to pay attention to real things or address our own fucking loose wiring. Look at this guy, Black Lives Matter. Just yeah, finally a fucking idiot telling me how it is.
Even to open micers that I end up finding out later through direct message aren't funny.
Listen to what he just said. I gotta back that up.
Aren't funny.
Hold on.
did. Because she did. You know, it was just like, you know, if I wanted to play the, like, you know, she's racist. She doesn't care about brown people. She only cares about certain people like black people. If I want to do that, I definitely could have. But I have no interest in doing any of that. Even to open micers that I end up finding out later through direct message aren't funny.
Hold on. I have no interest in destroying her or even open micers who I find out through direct message later aren't funny. The idea that you think you can base whether someone's funny or not on a DM you got. You're so dumb. Like, what if I DM somebody like Ty Rivera's not funny, and then people were like, "Oh, I just found out through a DM Ty Rivera's not funny." It's like, what? And I also love, like, for the guy that everyone runs around here sucking their dick, like you're the senior comic of Vegas, and you know, you are the senior comic of Vegas. Nobody gets discounted coffee at McDonald's like you. You have a real obsession with who's funny and not who's funny. You love giving open micers tips and advice, like, don't do this and don't say this to me and don't ask me to be on your show unless you're going to pay me. And it's just like, you're so fucking broken with what you think you are and where you fit into this whole scene. People are just jealous and tried to hold me down, and the industry has held me. It's like the industry ain't bothered. They're unbothered with Ty Rivera. God, man.
You know, but also I was talking about information and stuff like that, and why, you know, I really do feel like I have a more well-rounded view of a lot of things than a lot of people do, because one, I don't have.
You don't. You've built a crazy chamber of secrets. You have built an insane room that you think gives you a 360-degree view. And meanwhile, you're staring at your COVID toes. You know? Like, what are you talking? Not only are you so myopic, you're unaware of it to a level that is breathtaking. It's bananas how crazy it is that you can't see how little you see. I think I'm pretty round. Like, okay. Like, what a nut.
I have a lot of feelings about a lot of things. Like, on the podcast, it's called Unbothered. If anybody doesn't know how this works, because you're probably like, you know, you sound bothered at certain points. It's called Unbothered because the way this podcast works is I start off talking about something that's bothered me or things that have bothered me throughout the week.
No, you start off talking about something that you want us to think you're bothered by, like Black Lives Matter and Seattle. But we heard no passion in that. And you ended up going longer about you and what the comedy community thinks of you and how you won the argument and you shut them down and you didn't get chased out about, like, that's when you woke up. That's when Ty perked up. We finally got some sriracha in the sauce. Sorry, wrong nationality. Cholula. But either way, you know, like, we heard what you're passionate about. You can pretend it's whatever. We know. You're not concerned with Black Lives Matter. You're not a nice person. You don't give a fuck about that. You like to argue, and you like to be right. And you're not smart, so you're not right a lot. So you've developed a weird coping mechanism for shutting everyone down, pretending you're right, fooling yourself, and then, oddly, trying to get us to believe it. And no, we ain't having it.
And then I talk about them to the point where I'm unbothered. And one of the reasons that I am so unbothered in regular life, and also online, even while things may look like they're a fucking shitstorm sometimes.
No, that's the bit. Yeah.
I don't get a lot of personal feelings about things. And I also am always open to reading or hearing certain things from different people, you know, and it doesn't necessarily.
I mean, what else do we need to know, guys? Like, what else do we need? What else have we seen? Anyone who disagrees with him, anything he doesn't agree with tangentially, he blocks the person. He leaves the thread. He prefers arguments to take place on his page so that he can block people and control the narrative. We've seen it. And then he wants you to know he's real cool and loose and open and friendly with anybody. Prove it. Prove it. All you are is personal feelings about things. Correct. You're nothing else. You're nothing but bothered, motherfucker. Like, this is...
Necessarily have to be a friend. If somebody drops like a link in a way like, hey, I know your opinion is, because these are actual messages I get sometimes. They sound like, or, this is the gist of them.
That was a panic while he makes something up.
Hey, I know you think the way you think about certain things. I happen to find an article that, I think might change your thinking or...
Well, I got to stop you right there, Ty, because anybody you're friends with who sends you links to articles in order to like show you another point of view, I need to talk to them because they're mentally ill. If you think you can talk to a guy like this, and this is why I'm all like, who gives a fuck anymore about this? Because I know better. I know this guy is incapable of sitting down and having a rational conversation and being reasonable because he's nuts. This guy is fucking nuts. Like, you hear it, right? Like, the idea that you have a friend who's like, hey, check this article out. It presents a different point of view that you may like. Okay, have you met Ty? He ain't into anything you've got to say that doesn't already fit with his narrative of the world. This guy is nuts, and his opinions are written in stone as far as he's concerned. So I need to know who the friend was who messaged you an article. Who's clipping out things for Ty to think about. Imagine that. Like, imagine being so deluded that you have this guy as a friend and think you can change him. Like, I'm not under that impression anymore. This is just one of my many exotic fish. Now I'm looking through a tank watching Ty swim around. Come and go with the tide.
Might be at the very least of interest to you.
On a scale of 1 to Hurricane, how nuts is he? Curran is like this guy in a sense of delusion. Curran is the guy who's like, no, that's the bit. And it's like, okay, well, we're done with you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we can't be around you because you can't function normally. Like, Ty's got that, but more delusion. Curran's out of it. Ty is deluded and out of it.
I have an opposite opinion.
What I'm saying is Curran is better.
Do you mind
barely
reading this, or when you get a chance, read this, and then maybe we can discuss it? That's something that happens for me all the time. People will include video clips sometimes. Sometimes it's like a blog post that somebody else put up.
Oh, yeah. I love this. Like, sometimes people send videos of people like reflecting on my thoughts or like, other people's stuff. That's cool. He thinks that. He thinks us doing this show is like his content spurring on other content. Like, the same way we're like learning how to get fit from looking at photos of his naked, creepy body. And it's like, oh, no. I haven't watched Tales from the Crypt since I was a kid. So you can put your clothes back on and clear the cobwebs from your weird home.
Sometimes it's an article, but these are things people send me stuff all the time. Just to offer.
We get it. It's called a subscription box. I just keep getting a bark box. It's like, leave me alone. It's like, okay. I don't know. You guys, anybody else getting harassed by the New Yorker? That is what he would do. This is Ty. He's like, guys, the other day.
Knowledge or a different perspective.
The other day, they won't leave me alone. Like, they just keep sending me magazines. And it's like, okay, I'll read them. Like, how thirsty are you guys? Anybody else? It's like, okay.
And unless it's complete bullshit, like from something that's like,
Complete bullshit means he disagrees, by the way.
Online version of a tabloid or something like that, and even then sometimes I'll check it out because I'm like, well, there might be a grain of truth in this that I can pull.
Right, he's super open-minded, and we've all learned that today.
Or something that I can, or even just out of respect to certain people, it's like, well, if they took the time to send me a
it's the
link,
least I can do for the little people,
it. And so, but I don't feel like, oh well, that person clearly doesn't know what they're talking about. So, I mean, they don't agree with me already. Why would I bother watching or reading this? I'm not that type of person. I'm always like, yeah, I'll check it out. And so, you know, I check out a lot of things.
I've never seen like anything like this. Like, I've never seen someone pretend to be something and try to convince so many other people actively. Like, there's a lot of people who pretend to be a thing, and we're all like, okay, well, we all know. He knows people aren't buying it, and so he's doubling down and putting more time into it. Like, I'm just trying to get people to see that I'm super reasonable and easy. It's like, whoa.
And so I do have a well-rounded perspective on a lot of...
You don't. We're all telling you you don't. Everyone listening to this show needs to do me a giant favor right now. TyRiveraComedy.com. Post your honest thoughts on this guy from what you've heard. Don't be rude. Don't be hateful. But I feel like he needs a window. He needs to know what people see when they see him. And he will probably just block that website on his browser as if that does something. Because he's in that reality distortion, field where he's like, if it makes me out to be what I am, I'm not interested. I need to see what I think I am. So he'll probably block it. But I think if you go to TyRiveraComedy.com, let him know what you see, what you hear. Tell him I'm a nice man and to give me a chance. Come on the show. Let's squash it all.
Things when it comes to like social issues or politics or, all the stuff that people are talking about online, I've seen a lot of opinions on. I voted for Donald Trump. I'm not a devotee.
I have 4 years of voting history. He's like, guys, I've seen a lot of stuff. It's like, Ty, we're all in the same world. He's so dumb that he just thinks he's like experienced things no one else has. It's like, duh. Guys, I've seen it before where they didn't think Trump would win anyway. Trust me, I've seen it. It's like we were all there, dummy. You're not offering up any perspective that we don't all have.
Hey, I'm not like burying my head in the sand to a lot of things. And that's why I point out.
You are. You sound like your head's in the sand now.
That the same thing people do with Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton, even though the news and a lot of different ways these people have been exposed.
Should be called incomplete
the
thoughts.
most on the up and up, just to be the most general about it. And even what Hillary Clinton did with Bernie and, or the DNC did with Bernie, or what Hillary was a part of that happened to Bernie, all of that stuff, if you really think about it, gives people everything that they would need to know to be like, oh, these people aren't as good as I'm making them seem on social media.
What?
But they don't let it sink in. So then when they come back to like the actual Trump supporters and they're like, well, how can you still support him after he said this and this and this? It's like the same way you still supported Hillary and the same way you're ready to support Biden now. It's the exact same thing. There's really shouldn't be such a mystery since you're doing it yourself.
Yeah.
I think they call it cognitive dissonance. I think that's what they call it.
You think?
But, I don't know anything about anything ever.
We know.
So you guys take my racist words for what they're worth. This is Unbothered.
That was it. That's how he ends it. That is how he ends it. Fuck. All right. Yeah, this video card's gone to shit. I never intended to do 3 hours. I've got a day. It's 5 fucking p.m. here now. Wow. I was gonna do a regular show tonight, but I've done 3 hours now. This is out of unprecedented. We'll wrap it up. TyRiveraComedy.com is where you're gonna want to let it all out. Thank you very much. Thanks. Good to see Esther and Stephanie again. Some old faces, some new faces, some friendly faces, and some strange places. We'll get the blinking fixed. Don't have a seizure. Call before you dig. Save your taxes. This has been Squeezed.
I'm a supersized hero. Flapping my arms, oh baby, working on charms. And I'm cooler than De Niro. Just need to scale down, maybe drop a few pounds.